What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wachi.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare.
Regina Bless.
Deborah Adoso.
And I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Good morning, Ghana. Good morning, lovely listeners of Ghana Talks Radio. You are welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. This is your go-to platform for insightful discussions and informed perspectives on the latest headlines making waves in the news and across the continent. As usual, I remain your host, Esinal Fiagbedu, and joining me on our news headline review is Miss Regina Bless and Miss Debbie Adoso. Good morning, Miss Regina.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well by grace. I'm fit like a fiddle, like 1,000 horses by grace.
Oh, it's so nice to hear that. I must say, you seem so excited this morning. Do you mind sharing?
I am excited because tonight, oh my God, I'm expecting the good news. Yeah, and you know, when you're expecting a good news, you do not have to be doubting. You have to have faith for it to come to pass. Yes, so optimistic.
You're optimistic about that. Well, I'm happy you are. So before we dive into our major headline for today, I saw in the news yesterday at around 10 p.m. armed operatives stormed former Bank of Ghana governor's home at dawn and demand for votes and seized vehicles.
So when they went to the house, did they see any seized vehicles?
So let me read this. A group of heavily armed men suspected to be operatives from the National Security Secretariat reportedly stormed the private residence of former Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Ernest Addison at Roman Ridge on Wednesday, March 19, unfolded while Dr. Addison was home. About 15 soldiers arriving in 3 separate vehicles and wooden rails forcefully entered the premises. Upon arrival, the operatives swiftly disabled the CCTV system before demanding that Dr. Addison led them to supposed votes hidden within the house. However, the former governor firmly denied having any such votes or money in his property. And I believe someone may ask that what is the vault?
Yeah.
So let me read what the vault is. So the vault is like a room, and it's especially in a bank with thick walls and a strong door used to store money or valuable things in a safe condition. So that's more or less like a safe where you put delegates.
Metal susu box.
So they have strong walls. Before you can break that door,
it needs bomb.
Unless you go and call Goliath. So about 15 soldiers, and then immediately they entered the house. Where they went straight was to disable the CCTV camera and then the monitors as well. And you know, this issue we had this issue also happened to Ken Oforiatta in all of this, and I think it's exactly 1 month since this happened. And I keep asking myself, hey, what is happening? 15 soldiers from 3 vehicles, and they are suspected to be from the national security to raid. And the first thing they want the votes. Is it that the governor is hiding something that we don't know?
Yeah.
Hey,
but
these people that wear soldier dresses,
But I feel that this is a very wrong move, an unacceptable move from this military men, or should I say self-acclaimed military men, obviously dressed in just military attires. And what I have here, the raid was allegedly led by Richard Jakpa with Ken Oforiate's own. This same man was in charge. Allegedly was in charge. So does it mean it's something he normally does, or he has been given a go ahead by some top officials in parliament to do that? Because as we normally say, when you are a military man, police officer, security officer, or whatsoever, you need an official or formal warrant before you can search someone's home. And the word used, raiding, it's unlawful for you to raid or for you to just barge into someone's property without invitation. And for them to go as far as, after making sure they do whatever they're supposed to do, destroy the CCTV cameras and monitors, it means this is a hidden agenda. And I would say it is politically motivated.
You think so?
I think so, because who the military man there aban si kan e fa ho ben. How does that?
Would you even think that the former governor is even keeping the money in from the bank?
So it's a tip of the same way anonymous people give tip-offs to these police officers to go as far as finding hidden treasures. I feel this is the same way. So it means allegedly politicians, our parliamentarians have a hand, because it got to a time where Bank of Ghana lost a huge sum of money, and that money was not accounted for. So where did that money go?
And then 2 of his cars were actually seized, and then afterwards they found the car opposite Joker's Club in Labadi.
And also you made mention of them asking of a seized vehicle.
No, they actually seized the vehicle, which is Dr. Addison's vehicles. Okay. And then sources indicate that later in the evening, the family was contacted and instructed to retrieve the seized vehicles, which has been parked opposite Joker's Club in Labadi. So meaning they left the vehicles at Labadi.
Why would you do this, and for what purpose? What do you want to achieve?
Do you think it's also staged?
This can be staged. Oh no, I don't know. Before they come and sue me.
Never little thing they'll sue you.
But allegedly, I feel it is politically motivated, because looking at the rate at which the people are blaming NDC for Ken Oforiate's issue, I'm very sure they will come back to say NDC is behind what happened to our former governor. But should I say this military men or this security people need education on what their job really entails?
Are they even really?
Yes, that is the question. There are really special operations at the National Security Secretariat. So it means they have, even if they are not military personnel, they are related in one or two ways, because they make sure that security is being given to the people.
So what matters is that Dr. Addison is fine, and which we are grateful for God, and then nothing actually happened to him and then his family as well. What matters is that they are fine, and the vehicles has been successfully retrieved. Now let's dive into our main headline for today. Government inaugurates technical committees to drive youth employment initiative. The Ministry for Youth Development and Empowerment, George Opare Ado, has inaugurated 2 technical working committees to oversee the implementation of its flagship employment initiative, the Ejumara Program and the National Apprenticeship Program. The 12-member Ejumara Technical Committee and the 14-member National Apprenticeship Technical Committee have been tasked with ensuring the successful execution of these policies, which are designed to create sustainable employment opportunities for young Ghanaians. Speaking at the inauguration ceremony in Accra on Wednesday, March 19th, Opari Ado charged the committees to expedite the rollout of the initiatives to address rising youth unemployment. He also set a 2-week deadline for a comprehensive report on the program's implementation progress. This is what he stated. This Ejumara program aims to empower 10,000 Ghanaians every year between the ages of 18 and 35, and to also help them launch their businesses, effectively lowering the employment rates among our young people. Through this program, we are committed to contributing with the necessary support in terms of training, financing, and special opportunities to make young entrepreneurs realize their dreams. So the government of Ghana has taken steps to tackle youth unemployment by establishing 2 technical working committees to oversee key employment initiatives. These committees will ensure the successful implementation of the Ejumara program and the National Apprenticeship program, which is both aimed at creating sustainable jobs for young Ghanaians. That is it.
That is it.
Yeah.
This is GhanaTalks,
and it is a very good initiative set by this government to tackle youth unemployment in Ghana.
Yeah.
I believe so. It is good though. It is good.
It's a good
But with these initiatives these people are setting up, how
effective is it?
how effective is it? How effective is it? Because looking at our country right now, for instance, especially with youth unemployment, which is a rampant issue day in and day out, this initiative will empower young entrepreneurs. Especially some people have business ideas,
Yeah.
but they do not have that needed support
or the capital
to even fund it.
Yeah.
So when this initiative is set up, I believe that a little capital will be disbursed to these people, and it will visualize their ideas. And also we should look at how sustainable and the long-term impact of it, because we can't just say that we would bring an initiative each and every day, because there are a lot of projects this government, I wouldn't say MPP or NDC, but both governments have set up initiatives. At the long run of it, it's no longer effective. It's no longer effective. So to ensure the long-term success of these initiatives, it's essential to establish a robust monitoring and evaluation of the work. And when I talk about monitoring and evaluation of it, when you set up a business, once like this one, day in and day out, we set ourselves, or we set targets for ourselves to make sure that we achieve that target, and also to make sure that key areas that are weak, we need to evaluate that and make sure to introduce measures to make it strong, to make it more yes, and work towards it. And also the ministry needs to track progress, identify areas for improvement, as I said, and a whole lot. And also fostering partnerships with civil societies, private sectors, even if we can partner with foreigners and other, because foreigners also invest a lot in our and they would be happy to invest in this business, because we are bringing up youth who shouldn't rely on the government but rely on what they are capable of. Everyone has an idea, and the only way your idea can visualize is through capital and through training and education. So it is good. It is good.
So the Ejumara Technical Committee, so they set up two technical committees, which is the Ejumara and then the National Apprenticeship Technical Committee. So the Ejumara Technical Committee is is 12 members committee, and it focuses on helping young entrepreneurs launch and grow their businesses. So the main focus of this initiative is to focus helping young entrepreneurs launch and then grow their business. There are people who have the ideas, the business ideas, but the needed measures or the guided step or how to even launch it or how to even go about it is actually a problem. So this member committee is going to focus on these young entrepreneurs to launch and then grow their business, to make sure that their business grow and then to that stage that they can be able to gain enough revenue to fend from themselves, and then they don't have to rely on other people. And we have the National Apprenticeship Technical Committee, which is a 14-member committee, and that focuses on providing vocational and skill training to young people. And we know the vocational skill, we have the hairdressing, the bakers, the caterers, the makeup artists, the
contractors,
and all of that. Anything that has to do with you working with your hands is a skill. That is what this National Apprenticeship Technical Committee is focusing on, providing vocational skill training to young entrepreneurs. There are some to young people, there are some people that automatically they actually want to go straight into what they are passionate. As example, they love to cook. So why won't I go to a vocational school and learn how to cook and then set up my own business and see to that as well? Some people naturally, I wouldn't say they don't want to go to school, but some people naturally wouldn't like to sit in the classroom. They want to be busy. They don't want to sit in the office. This white collar job, that is not their thing. They would like to be on the run always. They want to. Some people would
to be productive.
Want to work for some people.
They want to be their own boss.
They want to be their own bosses. So this vocational skills and training for these young people is what the National Apprenticeship Technical Committee is focusing on, and it aims to empower 10,000 young Ghanaians annually. So every year, this two projects aims to empower 10,000 young Ghanaians annually from the ages of 18 to 35. And then their aim is to provide training, financing, and business opportunities to help young entrepreneurs start and then grow their businesses. And the major objective of this initiative is to reduce unemployment in the country, as they have stated in their manifesto that they are going to do anything in their power to reduce unemployment in the country. To reduce unemployment in the country. It is a great step, but this government will invest money into this initiative to train, to give money to these people and a whole lot, and even finance
their business. But I feel that it all boils down to the individual. Someone would like to invest into your business, but if you are not serious, disciplined, and consistent with it, that person would be wasting his or her time. So in order not for the government to be wasting their time, their resources, their money, we plead on the individuals who would be involved in this training. They should take the training seriously, and by so doing, when their businesses visionalize, they can also recruit or employ other people into their own personal space, because you can't do your work by yourself. You need all hands on deck.
Yes,
it's a good one because investing into handy, it has to do with handiworks, right? Like baking, vocational skills and technical skills. It's very good, but then my only problem is that they've come up with another committee, right? I just hope that this committee will not be like, it won't be favoritism, or they are not going to favor some class of people.
As in like protocol.
Yes, but it's going to, benefit all Ghanaians, because I've heard of program. There was some time ago, government brought initiative where they were teaching citizens how to do tie and dye, like normal tie and dye cloth, and it has to do with protocol. If you don't know any of
anybody,
like they can't allow you. And even though it was a government initiative, the people that was in charge of it were actually taking money from the citizens before they allow them. So if it is a government initiative, I think they should clearly state it. Yes, it's a government initiative, but would there be any form of, because sometimes they'll ask you to fill a form and they'll ask you to pay money. Is it included? Are they going to pay something? So that at the end of the day, it won't be like it's a government initiative and you will have to pay something again. And then they should know the kind of people that they will, appoint to lead this kind of initiatives. Because when they don't get the right people, they end up extorting money from the citizens. And sometimes they take the money from you and you don't even, they don't even include you in those trainings. But as I said, it's a good training, it's a good initiative, because of late technical and vocational skills makes more money. You tend to earn more money than the white collar jobs. With the vocational skills, each and every day you have money in your hand. There can't be a day where you say, even if you don't have money, it shouldn't be in coins. There should be coins in your pocket. Some will be like, Miniska, coins pa, they say metons your pa, I'll get money to buy that. So with the vocational skills, it's very important. Even if you are someone who is endowed in this white collar job, like, our advice, you should also partake. Partake in it. As you are taking from here, you're also
taking from
exactly.
Looking at the economy right now,
you don't have to wait till the month ends, and it's like anytime the month ends, you are happy. But when it's first April, you become sad because you can't even read that. So when you also involve yourself in these vocational skills, every day you are getting the money. So when the government pay comes, you save that for another different, project or anything you have in mind. So it's a good one, but they should ensure that every Ghanaian access it. It shouldn't be for some particular people. Yes, in this country, because I know my people. I know them. So they should make sure that everyone, because they should bring something so we can also.
You can actually apply, and I'm happy for the fact that the government has taken this initiative to focus on the informal sector as well. That has to do with the vocational and then the technical skills as well, not only necessarily focusing on the formal sector. Then I think I'm glad to hear that.
But I want to ask, with this training, after that, do they give them money, like maybe startup?
So they are going to fund their businesses, and I'm going to help them launch and then grow the business as well. So they are going to be like a guide to help these young entrepreneurs when it gets to that level that you think you can leave this person to continue with wherever they've gotten to, then I think that is it.
It's a good
They are not just going to help you fund, they are going to help you grow the business as well. And I think that is going to go a long way for the individuals.
Well, it's only common with the private sector. When they teach you, they give you money to start up something. So if the government is also bringing out that initiative, it's good. And so will be also.
It shouldn't be protocol. And so obiaso. All right, moving on to our next headline. National Education Forum applaud to undermine free senior high school policy in Tim Fojo. Reverend John Intim Fojo, Member of Parliament for Asim South, has criticized President John Dramani Mahama's administration for initiating a national education forum, suggesting it serves as a means to undermine the free senior high school policy. Reverend Fojo expressed concerns that the forum might be used to withdraw on campaign promises related to education. He argued that the president had ample time during his campaign to outline his education policies and that organizing such a forum now appears unnecessary. Reverend Fojo said, "This issue about National Education Forum, I have said it time and again, it's just an avenue for President John Dramani Mahama to mutilate free senior high school policy. The free SHS is just the target." Reverend Fojo emphasized that the free senior high school policy has been instrumental in removing systemic barriers for thousands of Ghanaian students and cautioned against any action that might undermine its achievements. So recently we saw that the government organized a 3-week stakeholder engagement aimed at identifying challenges within the education sector and then proposing effective reforms as well. And then Reverend John Intim Fojo, who is the MP for Ascent South, has criticized President John Dramani Mahamad's administration for organizing a national education forum, suggesting that it's a strategy to undermine the free senior high school policies. Well, the main aim of the National Education Forum was to identify challenges in the educational sector and how they can tackle it. And now, Mr. Intim is saying that it's actually a strategy to undermine the free senior high school policy. Do you agree with it?
No. How is it a strategy to undermine it? He was the deputy Minister of Education then time for Dr. Educhum. He was the education minister. What did they do? Well, they also brought out initiatives or policies or let me say forums like this, but we didn't see anything. And then for me, I feel like when they were in power, it looks as if all the hitches that has to do with this free senior high school was being silenced over. They didn't even say anything about it. Even when you have something, bad or something you've recognized as a problem associated with the free senior high school, they didn't allow you to talk because they feel like you are tarnishing the image of their government or you are tarnishing the policy they've brought on board. But here lies a case. This is a forum. They want to fine. Mahama came. He didn't say I will abolish the free senior high school.
No, he never said that. He
never said that. He said he will maintain it, but then he's going to take steps to ensure that problems and some challenges that is being associated with the free senior high school will be kept or will be solved. So this is also a step or a means of finding out those challenges. And some time ago, they also brought out a survey, right?
Yeah.
For parents and to fill so that they can actually identify
the issues that they are facing
because
in our senior high schools.
Even as the education minister or as a president, he cannot be in his room and then note or like just find out that this is what the schools are going
everything.
On. Exactly. Even though people are coming on social media, still they want to find out from the students themselves.
Yeah.
You cannot just hear something and conclude on it. You have to go to the ground and then find out the exact problem. And then the way you the means and ways you will take or the route you will take to keep that particular problem. And so this forum they are taking, there is nothing wrong with it. It's basically means to identify that problem and how to solve it. Because education is not only about you going to school. A conducive environment counts. What you even eat counts. Let's be sincere to ourselves. If you don't eat for the whole day, and then you come here, when someone is talking to you, you feel like slapping the person because as you are sitting down there, your mind, your soul, your body, and everything about you is not present. So when it comes to education, everything counts and everything involves. So it is as I said, it's just a way or a means of tackling that particular problem. So you cannot just come out to tell us that they are doing all this just to tarnish the free SHS policy, right? How is it going to do that? No, I feel like they should rather support the current government because you brought the initiative. You refused to identify the problem. Even when we were coming up, you refused. So I feel like there is nothing wrong with that. It's just a way of tackling the issue.
So he believes that the forum is unnecessary because President Mahama already had the opportunity during his campaign to outline his education policies. He sees the forum as a deliberate attempt to weaken or reverse free SHS rather than genuinely seeking solutions to challenges in the education sector. This is based on the comment he made that this issue about National Education Forum is just an avenue for President Mahama to mutilate free senior high school and reflect. So in his belief is that the policy is the free SHS policy is actually a target for this government. He also argues that the free senior high school policy has removed financial burdens for thousands of Ghanaian students who would have struggled to access secondary education. He warns that any changes to the policy might negatively impact these students. Looking at the comments he made, do you think it's politically motivated?
It is politically, me Mount Kasensi. It is politically motivated. You were the deputy education minister, so he's trying to tell me, say, you just bring up an initiative on board, and you don't want any issues to arise in regards to that initiative. And as a minister, when an issue arises in regards to your initiative, definitely whatever initiative you are having will bring problems in the future to come. So what steps did you people take to make sure that all these issues were solved? When it came to free SHS policy, students were not eating well, school feeding program, and a whole lot, like students even not having the materials to learn. They do not have a proper place to even sleep.
And I remember some students even had to take decks share to school.
And he's saying that the government or Mahama just want to take away free SHS.
He said the forum that they created that they had with key stakeholders to address the challenges that our educational system is facing is just some kind of like strategy or just an agenda to collapse the free senior high school.
The free SHS is already collapsed.
Think so?
It's already collapsed. And that is why he has set up a committee, a forum, to make sure that they find all these potholes in it and solve it. How would you set up something and say that it is just something to just undermine the thing? Yes, it is not to undermine anything. It is rather to solve the issues at hand. Our education sector lacks a lot. Our education, and with this forum, it's not even only specifically about the free SHS, but also to identify challenges in the education sector and solve it. So why is he attributing it to only free SHS? I feel for my part that it is politically motivated. It is politically motivated.
It is politically motivated. That is what Miss Regina Bless said. Now moving on. YEA, Labour Ministry collaborates to launch Work Abroad program for skilled workers. Ghana has launched the Work Abroad program, first of its kind to provide employment opportunities abroad for skilled workers. The initiative, led by the Youth Employment Agency in collaboration with the Ministry of Labour, Jobs and Employment, together with the Ghanaian European Centre and European Labour institutions, aim to provide structured employment opportunities while ensuring fair wages and safe working conditions for Ghanaian skilled workers who would enroll into the program. Speaking at the launch, YEA Chief Executive Officer Malik Basintali said the program will unlock doors for Ghanaian professionals, artisans, and skilled workers to showcase their expertise on the global stage while ensuring their rights and welfare remain protected. He further dismissed claims that the initiative could lead to a brain drain. He clarified, the YEA is instituting a comprehensive reintegration and community impact program that will ensure that when our workers go, they shall return home, and when they return home, they shall tap into their skills, experiences, and financial resources to reinvest in Ghana's development. So the Work Abroad program is a newly launched initiative by the Youth Employment Agency and the Ministry of Labour, Jobs and Employment, which is aimed at providing employment opportunity abroad for skilled Ghanaian workers. Do you think that's a good idea?
It is a good idea.
So what if they go and they don't come back to come and reinvest as they stated?
Will you
come back?
Oh, I see.
But with this, I feel as she's saying, it all boils down to the individual again, our perspective, because the government is trying their possible best to make sure that our economy is stable and we are living just like the people outside. So I feel when you are given the opportunity to go, please come back. Mommy, I won't come back.
We'll declare you wanted.
Oh, it's a very nice program. Very nice
I think
program.
this government is doing everything in their part to create employment for the youth. Yeah.
So it means they'll pay for everything, no?
Yeah.
All you need is your passport.
Yeah.
Well, they should start it fast. This and they are Madam Humba.
Manager, did you hear that? Please bring her here later. Miss David.
Yeah, it's a good one. You see, like, we all wish to. I mean, you've not been there, but the kind of stories you've been hearing.
But you're going to work.
Walking on the land of gold,
Madam,
on glass. I know.
You are not going to chill.
But the environment is favorable. I mean, I know you are going to work. You see, we are lacking a lot when it comes to various sectors in this country. So you going out is also a means of broadening your scope of knowledge. You learn new things to adapt to what you've already learned in this country, especially when it has to do with the health sector and other sectors as well. You know, most of the surgeries and sicknesses, when you go to the hospital, they'll be like, when it's beyond the power of our medical doctors we hold in this country, when it's beyond their part, the best thing they can tell you is to, if you have the money, they will either refer you to China or other hospitals abroad that they feel like they can treat you very well. So going out, it's not bad though. You're going to learn new skills and adapt to what you know. But you see, the problem is, how sure are we that when they go, they'll come back?
That is it.
That's a problem.
How would they ensure that when they go, they'll come back?
They'll
Because
come back.
Someone will go there and see that the money they are taking, because when you get there, they pay you early.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
So you can imagine if
They
you come
do.
down here and then they are just paying you your 1 hour as your whole daily wage.
They do.
Would you even love to come back? Will you be motivated
No.
or encouraged to even come back?
But you see, there is a time frame. So if they are sending, say, 20 people, maybe they are sending you for 5 years or maybe 4 years. So there is a time frame, so you have papers and everything. So when the time is due, you have to come back, but you personally has to do something. You have to register yourself as a citizen of that, because you cannot just stay there when your time is due. When your time is due, you have to come back
So
automatically.
it's going to be more or less like a contract.
a contract.
You
Yes.
sign it.
Yes.
And then after the 3 years that you have worked there, come back.
you come back. Yeah. If not that, then you have to make yourself a citizen there, or you get something that will
What
actually
if they come
sustain
back
you.
and then they are unemployed again? What would you do? Would you send them back again?
Definitely,
They'll
when
be
you get there,
employed.
you will be paid. And I'm not sure the government will be taking any.
When they come back to Ghana.
No, when they come back.
To Ghana.
Because once the contract ends, you have to come
Yeah,
back.
so I'm taking it from that point.
Oh, okay.
When you get there, whatever money you are getting, will the government take it?
No, the government is not going to take it. That money is for yourself. Because you are the one working.
Yes. See, I try to tell you that when you get there, you'll be squandering all the money. You get the money, they've helped you. So when you get the money, you come back, you set up a business to employ other people.
But you know this mentality that we have as Ghanaians.
You
Once
bab.
we get there, or best start your money scar. See that way, see way, your way, do this,
You see
do that.
that mentality we have to stop.
And that money that you're actually supposed to save and then maybe start up that business here in Ghana, the purpose of that money wouldn't
yeah.
save.
Or do you think that the government should make sure that whatever money they get, you should account for it at the end of the day?
Or better still, it should be stated in the contract that whatever money you get, you are supposed to reinvest it into a business.
Yeah,
Okay.
for other
Yeah.
people.
It makes
to
sense.
be-
This drew my mind on something. Yesterday when I was going home, a man was talking to, I don't know whether a brother overseas. So he was like, push him to give you the money. Push him to give you the money. He's making the money. He doesn't want to give you. That's how they do. And I was like, why? Do they think that the US or America is a land full of milk and honey? Immediately you get the money starts coming. You have to work. Maybe this person you're talking about is struggling. The government sent them there. You know, some of the students, they sent them there on scholarship. When this Ukraine war and stuffs come, they were pleading because some of them, they are on scholarship base. So it's what they feed on what the government, pay them or give to them, pay the scholarship. So if you are here and you feel like when they get there, immediately you land pay, the money starts coming like that, pressure. That mentality, we have to change it.
That mentality, we need to change it. Once you go up there and you get the money, please come and reinvest it into a business right here in Ghana. So moving on to our last news headline. Government reclaimed 7 out of 9 forest reserves from illegal miners. 7 of the 9 forest reserves that were completely overrun by illegal miners have been successfully reclaimed. The Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Ama, has announced. Speaking at a press briefing in Accra, the minister revealed that a joint security task force comprising the military, police, and forestry commission's rapid response team conducted sustained operations over the past month to reclaim the affected reserves. He assured the public that everything possible was being done to reclaim the remaining 2 forests reserved. He commended the Ghana Armed Forces and the Ministry of Defense for their support and called on the public to join efforts to ensure sustainable mining practices that protect the country's natural resources. So the government of Ghana has again successfully reclaimed 7 out of 9 forest reserves that were previously taken over by illegal miners. And this was announced by the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources. Do you think that's a good move?
Yes.
You think it's a good move? Why weren't they able to claim all the 9 but just 7?
It's a process.
What was the hindrance? What hindered them from retrieving the rest of the 2?
It's a
With
process.
the question, I was like, go and try it and see.
It's a process, yeah. It's a process. I feel like they are trying, like they are
doing
something, everything possible.
That was what he said,
yes.
in quotes.
They are
Everything
doing,
possible.
and it won't come just in a day or at a night. It will take process. That is lands where people illegally claim to be theirs, and they are, mining on it as if they will die the next day. So claiming it will be difficult, but it will take steps. It will take, tighten steps and measures for you to claim that particular land and our forest reserves and water bodies. But you see, it's a good step, but I feel like what they are doing, that they should make sure that people behind it are arrested. That is my main concern. They should be arrested and prosecuted and pass through the right procedures. Everything that they will have to do to prosecute those people, they should do it. Because if at the end of the day you are claiming the lands, you don't prosecute anybody, you don't arrest anybody, it's like cause 90 log 1. You reclaim those lands, and then at the end of the day they will go back because they feel like they've taken the land, but the one causing harm to the land is walking about freely. So to keep illegal mining, it's really it will really take strict measures, as he said, and then just to make sure there is a saying they say tree. You see the person cry, the person cry, the person is not your friend, even
like
though the person, yes. As at that moment, the person is not your friend, you know no relative, you know nobody. You should just go straight by it and prosecute them and make sure that they face the law. When you do that, even foreign, what's the name, nationals who come here to mine and stuff, so when they are being gone through those kind of procedures, they wouldn't come back again. But when we are claiming the lands, claiming the forest reserves, claiming our water bodies, and at the end of the day, we allow them go free. It's just like beating around the bush and coming back. Just like that. We'll be beating around the bush, but we can't do anything. So they are doing their best, but they should do more.
He asked why they couldn't reclaim all lands. When the past government was in power, how many lands did they reclaim? How many? You know answer?
7 forest reserves. There are 9, and they claim only 7. So why not just add a few?
Wait, and I'm asking you, when the past government was in power, how many did they reclaim? What were they doing? They were arresting us. And this government have how many? Not even up to 4 months. And they've been able to reclaim 7. As she said, it's a step-by-step process. I feel that this is a great achievement. You don't agree with me?
Continue.
Okay. This is Debbie, you also don't agree.
Oh, I do.
It is a very great achievement that our president, our able president, he was able to man up and reclaim 7 out of 9. Aka saying 2. Obey 7 crown awajina 2 known to Minji. He will take it. He will take it.
All right. So the government's success in reclaiming 7 forest reserve, they claim is a major victory against the fight of Galamsey. But we are hoping to hear that they've been able to reclaim all these 9 forest reserves. That is our hope, so that the issue of Galamsey will be dead and gone, buried. Yeah. So this is where we end our news headline review for today. Up next, we have Debbie's Grill.
This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
It's a brand new Thursday again on Debbie's Grill. I do appreciate your presence with me each and every day, and then granting a listening ear as we dive deep into state concerns and bringing out all the juices and everything that it takes and putting our country on the right path. Now, yesterday, a defamatory case was making wave across all socials. It was criticized by many, it was also appreciated by many, but the main question was posed on our judiciary system. People think that judiciary system is being biased. Before that, let's read this. Investigative journalist Anas Arimeyao has secured a significant legal victory in the United States, winning an 18 million defamation lawsuit against former Ghanaian Member of Parliament for Assis Central, Kennedy Japan. The verdict was delivered by a jury in Essex County, New Jersey. The lawsuit filed on May 17th in the Superior Court accused Kennedy Japan and media personality Frederick Asamoah of making defamatory statements against Anas during an episode of the Daddy Fred Show, an online program popular among Ghanaian audiences in the United States. During the program, Japan allegedly made a series of damaging and false claims, including accusing Anas of being criminal, a thief, and responsible for the murder of investigative journalist Ahmed Swale. And Ahmed Swale, as we all know, is a key member of the Anas investigative team, was assassinated in 2019 following the release of Number 12, a documentary that exposed corruption in Ghanaian football. There is a saying that says that if you think you are a master over a group of people, or if you think you fear nobody, if you think like when they mention your name, everybody has to bow, one day you definitely meet your match. And it has happened. We all know our very own Member of Parliament for Assis Central, former Kennedy Ohini Japan. We know how influential this man is. We know how he is when it comes to talk. He commands respect. Someone who can just, allegedly walk into the court and then speak anyhow to judges, and he's allowed to go scot-free without nothing. Someone who can just sit on air and expose the face of an investigative journalist and then tell the citizens to attack him when they meet him on a road because of this, that, because they exposed, they expose a corruption that is related to him. And then it wasn't even due to a week, I must say. We all heard what happened to Ahmed Swale, and up to now, nobody asked him a question, nobody interrogated him, and it was fine. Anas Arimeyao, as we all know, as our investigative journalist in Ghana, sent some issue to court because of statement he made. He said Anas is a thief. He's a criminal. Yes. He sent it to the Ghanaian court. They did all they can, and at the end of the day, it was in favor of him. So Anas has to, should I say, it's not the right word, but let me borrow that. Should I say he transported the case to the U.S. court because he felt like our judicial system here, it's nothing to write home about. And this is what everyone is saying. You see, the judiciary in this country, our court and everything that has to do with the judicial system, is not supposed to be biased. You are there for the people. You are not there for any political party. You are not there for political party A or political party B. You are not there for any politician. You are there for everybody. In as much as maybe your appointment may be based on a political line, you are there for the people. So you have to rule according to or in favor of everybody. But what do we see in this country? We see criminals walking about freely, issues that has to do with criminal cases, issues that you can actually sit down and feel like this person needs to be prosecuted. No, they don't prosecute the person. And then a case where you feel like this thing doesn't even need, further hearing. You see them prosecuting the person. You see them doing things that you feel like this shouldn't be done. And then the person who is, corrupt, the serpent mother of corruption, let me put it that way, or the person who is full of corruption is walking about freely. And as I said, if you feel like you're a master in your town, if you feel like you are the boss, when they call your name, everybody has to bow down. Everybody, you understand? Everybody has to bow down for you, kneeling for you because you command respect. You can only command respect in your country, but not in any other country. Because your judiciary here, or the judicial system here, may favor you, but not in other country. You see? So, we just have to be careful. Not only that, but then our judicial system, as I said, the judicial system, you are there for everybody. You are not there for any political party. You are there for the people. You are there for the people. You are there for all the political parties, all the people involved. You are not supposed to be biased. You rule in favor of who is not guilty, and then you rule against who you feel like is guilty. But we don't see that in this country. We see the opposite of that. We see the opposite of that. People who are really corrupt, people who they are being, charged with cases that we feel like these people should be prosecuted. These people should be jailed and stuff. We don't see it. We see them walking about freely. And people who go to steal, a tuber of yam, people who go to steal something that you feel like with this, they can just say something very little and then they let the person go. The person is really jailed. And you see, this has been the talk of town. Everybody is saying that yes, our judicial system is biased. I'm not the one saying it. This is the saying of the citizens of this country. They are saying our judicial system is very biased. We don't rule in favor of, the people. When the people when we see that this particular person is not being associated with any form of guilt. But at the end of the day, we rule in favor of someone who is guilty, which is not supposed to be so. But that is what we see. And it has really drained the trust we have in our judicial system. That's why of late I don't blame people when someone goes to offend a person and then the person goes straight to the shrine, because the person feels like it is only the gods that can defend him or her. It's better to send his pleas, his cries and everything to the gods of his land rather than sending it to the court. Because if you're with the gods is not going to ask you, what did you do? No, you are wrong. Yes, he's right. No, he strikes straightforward. But our courts nowadays is not like that. We do the opposite way. And you see, we've been doing this. This is not the first time. No. We've been doing this for some time now. And anytime you come out to talk or you say something, they feel like you are in favor of this, you're in favor of that, you're in favor of this. But no. Not at all. As I said, you are an entity that is there for the whole people. You are not there for a particular person or a particular entity in the country. You are there for everyone. So you rule in favor of who needs to be favored, and then you rule against who needs, or a person that is guilty and needs to be punished. But we don't see that. And so we see people with high authority come to speak their mind and say a lot of things, and they're allowed to go scot-free. It gets to the court, and then the case is being booted out as a foolish case. And we see, as we've been hailing him, Member of Parliament for Assist Central Kennedy Japan, we've been hailing him and that. I mean, he's a man of respect and whole, like, everything that has to, I mean, sum up to that. But you see, yesterday, it was a pity. But trust me, if we feel like that's what we want to do, then we should continue. Thank you for making time with me on The Biz Grill.
Welcome to Today in History, and did you know, live on Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. I go by the name of Regina Bliss. So today in history, on March 20th, 1995 in Tokyo, 12 people were killed, more than 5,500 others sickened when packages containing the deadly chemical sarin were leaked on 5 separate subway trains by Shrenkia cult members. In 2004, hundreds of thousands of people worldwide rallied against the US-led war in Iraq on the first anniversary of the start of the conflict. The US military charged 6 soldiers with abusing inmates at the Abu Ghraib prison. Today in history, Pope Benedict, visiting Angola, condemned sexual violence against women in Africa and chided those countries on the continent that approved abortion. Today in history, the United States invade Iraq, assisted by the United Kingdom, Australia, and Poland. The Iraq War, which was termed illegal by then UN Secretary Kofi Annan, caused hundreds of thousands of Iraq deaths. Moving to some did you know for today. Did you know that there is a lake in Africa that is so alkaline that it can turn animals into stone? Lake Natron in Tanzania has a pH level of around 10.5, making it one of the most alkaline bodies of water in the whole world. Did you know that there is a species of shark that can live for up to 500 years? The Greenland shark is one of the longest living vertebrates on the planet. Did you know that butterflies can't fly if their body temperature is too low? They need to be warm to fly, which is why we often see them basking in the sun all the time. Did you also know that the longest recorded duration of a person holding their breath is over 24 minutes? Ahmed Gabe of Egypt set this record in 2014. Did you know that smiling can reduce stress and pain? Smiling releases endorphins, which are natural painkillers, and can also lower your heart rate and blood pressure. So it is a necessity for you to smile all the time through the bad and hard times. Did you know that you can't tickle yourself? This is because your brain anticipates the sensation of tickling when you try to tickle yourself, and it cancels out the response. So you can't tickle yourself. Let another person tickle you. This is where I end today's Today in History. And did you know, live on Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Thank you so much, Miss Regina Bless. We can't tickle ourselves, so someone has to tickle us.
So when I tickle myself,
I don't laugh. I don't.
Yeah.
But then again, you mentioned a river that's 10 animals to stone.
Yeah, River Natron.
And
Lake Natron. It has about 10.5 alkaline. So the moment they don't die, you. But yes, you just turn into stone, but you not die. It's not spiritual. It's not spiritual.
is it your body becomes so hard
Yeah, hard and different color.
from others?
Yes.
I don't even know what to say. Thank you so much for joining us in the first segment of the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Right after the news, we'll be coming up with the second segment with insightful topics and knowledgeable guests to come and dissect and share their suggestions and opinions on a particular topic. Please do stick and stay.
This is Ghana Talks Radio, the best station rocking the nation. We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news. Right here on GTR.
Good morning and welcome to the Daybreak News on Ghana Talks Radio. Coming up this morning, Ghana Card, NIA condemns alleged extortion by staff. Central Region reports 3,028 suspected cholera cases with 19 deaths. Ahmed Swaleme, the suspect, admits taking photos but denies selling to Kennedy, Japan. Prosecution and Mboko MPs express outrage over military brutalities, demand immediate action. This business, sports and showbiz is coming in this morning's bulletin. The news will be read by Awentemi Akansukum. Now let's settle for the details. The National Identification Authority, NIA, has strongly condemned alleged corrupt practices by its staff during the Ghana card registration process. This follows allegations from applicants regarding misconduct from certain NIA employees. In a statement dated March 18, 2025, the NIA labeled such behaviors as unlawful and unethical, assuring the public that all complaints would be thoroughly investigated and appropriate legal action to follow. The NIA emphasized its commitment to maintaining public trust and ensuring that all applicants receive services in a fair, transparent, and ethical manner. The authority also urged the public to report any instances of misconduct, extortion, or unethical behavior by its staff. Now, the Central Regional Health Directorate reports that the total number of suspected cholera cases has risen to 3,028, with 260 confirmed cases. The death toll stands at 19, and 4 healthcare workers were infected during the latter part of 2024. Regional Director of Health Services Agnes Ichiama Annan disclosed this information at the annual Health Sector Performance Review in Cape Coast Wednesday, March 19. She noted that although the recent outbreak in the region have strained healthcare resources, the Directorate is prepared to strengthen its surveillance system to prevent further occurrences. She also emphasized that the situation necessitates continued investment in infrastructure to effectively address outbreaks. Annan stated in the area of cholera, the total number of suspected cases as at Tuesday is 3,028, with 260 confirmed cases. Additionally, 4 healthcare workers were affected, and these health workers, it happened last year, 2024. I am sorry to state that out of these cases, we've lost 19 from cholera. Now, moving straight to some other stories, 35-year-old businessman Daniel Kranting, also known as Nana Amache, has denied allegations that he sold photographs of investigative journalist Ahmed Hussein Swale to Member of Parliament Kennedy Ejapong for Swale's murder in 2019. Mr. Kranting has been remanded in custody by the Medina District Court after being provisionally charged with murder. Prosecutors argue that he played a role in Ahmed Swale's killing, citing call records and his presence near the journalist's residence at the time of the murder. Call records placed at the accused in Medina near Swale's residence before and at the time of the murder, the prosecution said. However, the prosecution alleges the accused rejected claims that he provided photographs of the deceased to Kennedy Ejapong. This is despite admitting, per the prosecutors, that he knew Swale had visited Ejapong and had taken photos with the deceased. He admitted knowing the deceased, visiting Honorable Kennedy Ejapong and taking photographs with the deceased, but denied selling the photograph to anyone, the prosecution told the court. The prosecution maintains that Swale himself had identified Kranting as the person responsible for supplying the images that were later broadcast on Net2 TV, where Kennedy Ejapong called for retribution against the journalist. According to the prosecution, Mr. Kranting fled to the United Kingdom in 2019 after declining multiple police investigations. He later returned to Ghana and was arrested in Amasaman March 15, 2025, following intelligence reports. The court has remanded him into custody pending further investigations, with committal proceedings set for April 1, 2025. Meanwhile, the prosecution insists that investigations are ongoing. Now, members of parliament have voiced strong opposition to the military's ongoing operations in Boko, calling for an immediate end to the reported act of brutality and urging accountability for those involved. The military's actions are said to be in retaliation for the killing of a soldier in the area March 17, 2025. Boko Central MP and Majority Leader Mahama Ayaruga condemned the indiscriminate nature of the military's response, describing it as a destructive and harmful to innocent civilians. He called for the military to withdraw and collaborate with the law enforcement and community leaders to identify the perpetrators of the soldiers' killing. Medina MP Francis Jarvis Sosu criticized the military's action as unconstitutional and a violation of both domestic and international laws. He urged the military high command to hold officers accountable for their actions. Pusiga MP Ladi Aye Ayamba also condemned the invasion of homes and the assault on residents, including vulnerable groups such as the elderly and women. She stressed the importance of finding alternative ways to apprehend those responsible without harming innocent civilians. The MPs extended their condolences to the family of the deceased soldier, while emphasizing the need for the military to uphold its duty to protect citizens and maintain peace without resorting to excessive force. Their collective statement underscored the urgency of addressing the situation in Boko with accountability and restraint. Now to business. Accounting and auditing firm Deloitte has described the government's 4% real GDP growth target for 2025 as realistic and attainable, considering the 5.7% growth recorded in 2024. However, the firm warns that the expected slowdown is largely due to the government's fiscal tightening and aggressive expenditure cuts, which could limit the rollout of key policies and programs. In its 2025 budget review, Deloitte stressed the need for the government to reverse the trend of high budget deficit, which averaged 7.5% between 2021 and 2024, with a projected 3.1% deficit for 2025. Deloitte believes this signal fiscal prudence, a key requirement under the IMF Extended Credit Facility program. The firm also supports the government's cautious spending approach, noting that it could help restore investor confidence and macroeconomic stability. Despite the need for spending cuts, Deloitte underscores the urgent need for government-led economic expansion to tackle rising unemployment. The firm commends plans to prioritize investment in high-growth sectors, but cautions that achieving a balance between austerity and job creation will be challenging. Given the moderate growth outlook, Deloitte advises that expectations regarding job creation and in 2025 should be measured as macroeconomic stability is the foundation for long-term sustainable growth. Now, to some sport, Member of Parliament for Brekum West Dixon Chredua is calling on the new Inspector General of Police IGP Christian Tete Yohonu to intensify security details at Ghana Premier League games. He said this in an exclusive interview with City Sport after witnessing day 2 of the Black Stars training session, where he stated that the new Black Stars team is driven, united and committed. After calling on football stakeholders to understand sportsmanship, the Member of Parliament called on the new IGP to intensify the new security details adopted by the GPL following the death of Kumasi Asante Kotoko fan Francis Pole Frimpong. Now, straight to some showbiz. Multiple award-winning Ghanaian musician and activist Ochame Kwame, known in private life as Kwame Nsia Apau, has been adjudged winner of the Taste 68 Celebrity Jollof Competition. The Taste 68 Celebrity Jollof Competition was an event organized by the Ghana Tourism Authority, GTA, as part of activities to mark the country's Heritage Month. Recently, the event, held at the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park March 14, 2025, brought together industry players, among others. Ochame Kwame competed with Mr. Beautiful, Uncle Ato, Victoria Lebene, and Joyce Blessing. The rap doctor called his food the vegan jollof. Funnily, some of the spectators claimed his jollof could lower global warming due to the ingredients used. He used mushrooms, bell peppers, tomatoes, rice, oil, and other vegetables. The protein source was seitan, which is made from wheat gluten. Ultimately, he overcame other culinary skills from his competitors for the ultimate crown. Ochame Kwame expressed his appreciation to everyone who tasted it and urged Ghanaians to consider it as part of their delicacies, adding that it is healthier. The Deputy Chief Executive of GTA, Mr. Gilbert Agri, affectionately called Abeku Santana, said Ochame Kwame won the competition not because he is famous and likable. According to him, Ochame Kwame understood gastronomy, tourism, and techniques in culinary artistry, a strength he leveraged against his competitors. And that's it with the Daybreak News on Ghana Talks Radio. Log on to www.GhanaTalksRadio.com for more of these stories. The news was read by Awentemi Akan Sukumasi. Thanks so much for making time. Good morning.
do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries,
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare.
Regina Bless.
Deborah Adoso.
And I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. Good morning, as I welcome you to Ghana Talks Radio, where Ghana talks, where Ghana listens. It's another Thursday where we bring you some news headlines, some discussions of some major topics making waves in the capital of Ghana. In the studios with me anchoring my show this morning is my ever beautiful co-host Esinam and my able, gentle guest panelist, the controversial Mr. Dubik Stephen.
Hey.
Lady and gentlemen, how are we all doing?
We are well, yourself.
Not bad myself. Dubik.
Yes, sir. Yes, madam.
Aha. He is back with his controversies, but
Yes, madam.
Now, why did you decide to cover your head today?
I don't know what he has planned to say,
What motivated it?
with which he wants to hide his face.
with a
But
cap.
Yes.
The way national security is rampant.
Picking up people.
Yes, then they have to cover my face. Like if I get nose marks for work,
You were.
small mistake, then you are there.
But I mean, with the way they are moving now, they are kettling some press freedom.
No, you see, I always have a problem with what we call press freedom. Like we should have a responsible press freedom.
Okay.
You get it? Because you are the press and you have the right to say certain things doesn't mean you can say whatever you want without having proof or evidence to back your accusations or claims.
Okay.
If I come here, I've said this once, if I call you a thief, knowing very well you've not stolen anything, and you don't say anything, every day I call you a thief, every day I call you a thief, and you don't say anything, a day will come, I won't have to call you a thief. Somebody else will call you a thief because I have been calling you a thief and you've not been saying anything. So the most important thing here is that in as much as you the pressmen, you the journalists, have the right to say things, make accusations, make sure that whatever you come on air to say has evidence. You see, somebody might have used over 40, 50 years to build a life, a reputation. Then because of politics or whatever, you use just a minute, a second to say something and destroy that entire reputation. So if you can cast your mind back, look at the diplomats we've had in Ghana, like the Kofi Annans, the Ibn Chambers, and did they engage in active politics in Ghana?
No.
Do you think if they had engaged in active politics in Ghana, they would have gotten to where they were? No way. No way, because the kind of things we will say about you, even when you get to the international level, competing for a position, those things will come up.
Okay.
And at that time, nobody will care whether it was an allegation, whether it was proven or not. Once it is on the internet, it is there forever.
Okay.
You cannot take it off. So the most basic thing we have to do as a group of people is to understand that in as much as we want press freedom, we must also ask the press people to be responsible in the way they talk, the kind of news they break. I don't even mind that if you have an accusation, if you have an allegation against me, call me.
Okay.
If I don't rebut, if I don't give you any response to your allegations, then you can go ahead and publish it. But even if I give you a rebuttal, if I give you my side of the story, you should publish my side of the story attached to your side of the story to give a fair balance. Let the people make judgment for themselves. You don't have to judge and then put it on the people that, oh, the big Ganip Stephen or Chrome 4 without even calling me. Call me. Oh, Matter say where we are phone. What happened? Oh, phone number and we are na me kono na esinam toye na be share me bag na me cry me sign the call. You get it? Me and I sign the call. So now, if you put this out and you attach my side of the story to it, the reader or the listener will make an informed decision whether I actually stole it or it was a mistake or your accusations were wrong.
Okay.
I hope you get my point.
I'm trying to, but it's not in my powers to.
If you
judge
don't,
your point today, so.
if you don't, they will get you. And when you call me, you know I'm not a lawyer yet, so I can't help you.
Welcome back on Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. This is Ghana Talks Radio. Join the conversation on all our social media platforms, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, and on X, with the handles at Ghana Talks Radio. You can also join us on our WhatsApp platform 0202544614, 0202544614. Getting the discussions underway. Yesterday was made known that government has placed a ban on community mining and revoked all licenses that was issued after 7th December. That was after the day that the elections was held. The fight against Galamsey itself. Do you think that we are tackling it through the right channels?
Well, mining itself exists by law.
Okay.
Law establishes the kind of mining sector that we have here in Ghana.
Okay.
Whether if you look at the natural resources laws, all the laws that enable mining is there. You see, mining, illegal mining didn't start yesterday. It didn't start like in the early 2000s. It has been there. I've said this here before that the Bema Beko Takwa song is a Galamsey mining song. Do you know why? Because at that time, in the olden days, the only place that they were doing Galamsey was
Obuasi and Takwa.
Obuasi, Takwa.
Then I think Pristia.
Pristia and Akwatia.
Yeah.
For Akwatia, it was the diamond thing.
Yeah.
They had a metal mortar and a metal pistol. So you go, you break the rocks underground, carry them on your back, crawl through the tunnel, come out, pour it into the mortar, the metal mortar, then use the metal pistol to pound it till it is powder. Then you now extract the gold from it. So when they say kwese kwese, bema beko takwa and all that, they are telling you that when you go to takwa, it is hard work. But we didn't have a problem with that because it wasn't destroying the environment. The worst case scenario you could get at that time was, the shaft has collapsed and then it has killed maybe so and so miners and all that.
Okay.
But now, in the early 2000s, we signed a law that allows surface mining. Newmont came to Ghana, prospected, got license to mine, but they realized that even on the surface of the land, there was gold. So let's find a way and mine what is on the surface first. And at that time, our laws were against it.
So Newmont began the surface mining.
We passed a law to enable Newmont Ghana to start surface mining.
Okay.
Newmont just didn't start surface mining on its
okay,
own. We passed the law
For them to be
for
able
them to
do
engage
that.
in surface mining. They started the surface mining. And once these things start, it has a way of getting into people's minds. People also tend to explore how to engage in that same act and also make money. And then we started this small scale mining. At that time, in the olden days, there was nothing like small scale mining. Who does mining in a small scale? Do you go there with a hoe, an axe, a shovel? No. Once you can hire an excavator, once you can buy a chamfine, it has moved from small scale to industry. So, if we say small scale farmer, a persistent farmer, when he goes to farm, it is just his cutlass.
Yeah.
But you don't buy a combine harvester and tell me you're a small scale miner, farmer. It doesn't make any sense. So we started bringing in all this kind of technology and then still refusing to evolve. Our evolution in the mining sector has been our bane. That is the reason why we are suffering. Because if you can afford an excavator, employ like 500 people on your mining site, bring these huge water pumps, even to the extent that you have the capacity to block a river, you are no longer a small scale miner. You are no longer a small scale miner. And we condone these things for a very long time. And once you condone something for a very long time, it becomes entitlement. People get entitled to that thing to feel that, sadi with the no one here. And when it becomes a tradition, when it becomes a tradition, it becomes very difficult. Can you go to Asante and tell him Akwasi there is bad, let's stop it? Can you come to the Gans and tell them that the Bonyo party after funerals are bad, let's stop it? No.
For that one, they need to stop it too.
Yeah.
That Bonyo part. I mean, a road, a street leading to somewhere. You are going to work.
We are in a Galand. Allow them.
Oh, Charlie.
You cannot do that. And you cannot go to the Krobos and tell them that depot. What do you call it? It's depot, right?
Yeah.
Depot is bad. They should stop it. Because it is tradition. They have done it over and over again. To the extent that they now feel they relate to the thing. And now, whether we like it or not, Galamsey, small scale mining has become livelihood for others. Abeye baby a man for ko ni enye the duane edebe fi bedi. Edi feed your family ehwe nipa. So imagine that you are a what do you call it? A radio presenter. You are here this morning. One day you come here and then they are standing in front of you telling you now radio presenting is illegal, don't come here. How will you feel? You're going to fight back. Because and a hungry man is an angry man. If you go home today and you don't know where your next meal is going to come from, it is a problem. In as much as we are trying to fight Galamsey, which is a good thing, we should also strive to find alternative livelihood for the people of Galamsey. I don't care about the businessmen sponsoring the activity. I care about the young people engaging in the gata stuff. Going there to dig, going there to hold shovel. I care about them. These people, if we find a way to take them off or out of that business, then the businessman will be forced to do it in the right way.
You see, this thing you are saying, last week, one of the ministers, I think so, was on a mining site, a Galamsey site, and there were these two guys who were there. So instead of him trying to arrest them or something like that, he just engaged them in a conversation. Asked them why they were doing illegal mining, and they were like, "Yeah, they may be anyhow. Yeah, school they are say we are nearby." And he said, "Okay, so if I find you a job, will you stop them?" I said, I do a queen, but
Yeah.
The man has been able to secure about 200 acres for these young guys. Now they are going into farming.
Good.
So they've left the mining sites for government to take over and do
Reclaim
whatever.
it.
Yes.
In the year 2024, do you know the third largest item in terms of value we imported into this country?
Yes, excavators.
620 billion Ghana cedis.
Like, I was shocked.
The third largest.
Excavators. For what? Look at our roads. But we don't see excavators on them. Forest reserves are keeping excavators.
Yeah.
And we know who imported them.
That's where the problem is.
We know who imported them. Because Kofi. Me Kofi, I mean, Mrs. Kana me the koto excavator. Me the And even if I have that kind of money, I would rather invest it in something else. We know them. We know the big men behind this mining stuff. And before we came on, we were having a conversation.
Yeah.
And I told you that this whole community mining thing, we got it all wrong. We got it wrong. The intention, the idea was good, but we got it wrong in its implementation. If we say a community-based something, what does it mean? Let's just take the literal meaning of the words. Community-based company, community-based program. It means that people in the community will own the thing. They form the base of it. But no, what we did is that, there's we think that you can mine at Ntotroso. I know people. I know the Ntotroso land. It's rich in gold. I come here in Accra, come do some skirmishes, get my license, go to the chief at Ntotroso, tell the chief, I've secured a license for community mining now. You go like, okay, where's your where's the plan, the concession and all that? I'll show it to him. Go and mine. Gunsa. Then I'll do it. When I go, I now employ the community people. Not even the community people, because they don't have the skill to do it. Now people from all works of places will come in because they have mined elsewhere and they know the experience. So if I have somebody, I'll call Muniru, Charlie, now you go like, for more bra. Then instead of it being a community base, it's no longer a community based thing. And the intention for the community mining was that the people there will mine, they know what affects their life, they know where the river body is, they know where the forest reserves are, they know where their sacred lands are and will not touch them. They know where their cocoa plantations are and will not touch them. But me, when I go there, I'm interested in my money. I don't give a damn about your sacred land. I don't give a damn about your river. When I'm coming there, I'm in my big Helix V8 Tacoma Tundra with bottled water in it. Even if I want, I'll buy foreign water. I'll not buy the local ones. In it, when I come, I'll not drink your water. When I come, I'll find a plush hotel and be living in. So the effect, the impact of my business doesn't affect me. But if the people there had taken charge of this mining site, they would have known that if we destroy the water body, and one equal no manum be cry me to me tonum cry bia, Messa be or take in Sueneja Hobesebianum.
Yeah.
So they would do it with moderation.
With caution.
Exactly. But we didn't do it that way. We decided that yentumfra, once you have the money, once you have the resources to do it, just come for a license and do it. From from December 7th up until January 7th, do you know how many licenses we had issued?
That was about 1,000 and...
No, it was just within that month was 420. The entire year was that 1,000. That from January 1st, 2024 to December 31st was 1,000. But for that 1 month period, 420 to 450. Some
in 4 weeks.
In 4 weeks.
When you've left power.
When you are leaving power.
And this thing, I don't even want to bring any political party.
No, but the thing is that
I don't want to.
The truth of the issue is that if I'm the Minerals Commission boss, I was placed there by a political authority. Definitely. Send them crop for bar. Made a one.
Yeah. You give them your chance.
And we were in this country when somebody said party Hieska. A general secretary of a party, political party, said party Hieska. So do you think with that kind of mindset, and of course I'm sure the appointing authority wouldn't appoint somebody from the opposition party to be there.
Yeah.
So if your general secretary tells you that party Hieska, what would you do? Won't you grant the licenses? You grant it. And one thing that I like about our renewed fight of this whole Galamsey thing is not the water police or whatever.
I was just hoping you don't say that.
Okay. So which one do you like
it's
about
not the water police.
If we show you the videos of the people being trained there.
Oh,
no. You see, these things happen. So let them. I just told you that I wouldn't criticize them today. I'll give them some time. If they mess up when I come, I'll talk about it.
Okay.
So my renewed fight is we trying to decentralize the licensing regime. So now it's going to be made of the DCE, the chiefs in the area, and the Mineral Commission representative in the various districts.
Okay.
So they would now, when you bring your concession, they will now go through it, see if it is close to a water body, if it is in a forest, if it is a farmland, if it is a cocoa growing area. They will now make recommendations whether they should grant you the license or not.
Okay.
To the Mineral Commission.
Okay.
Based on the recommendation that they will give, will now determine whether you get the license or not.
So when was this measure put in place? Has it been implemented yet?
The committee to do the groundwork for its implementation was launched yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, yesterday.
Okay.
But how effective is that going to be? 'Cause
Exactly.
even those people that you are putting in charge,
They themselves.
how sure are you that they are not corrupted as well?
See, we were here and they told us that the Minerals Commission boss, Martin Eisi, has concessions than the illegal miners. He himself has so many concessions. He that is supposed to protect us from the illegal mining.
You see?
So these people,
You see, whether we like it or not, we cannot have 100% community.
I don't think we should, based on that excuse at all.
I'm coming.
Okay.
We are going to have corrupt people in the system. But we need to strive to weed them out. If we know that the system is solid, but the people who are supposed to run the system is the reason why the system is suffering, then we will begin to take them out and replace them with people that we feel will make the system work. we cannot just fold our arms and say because people will be corrupt, we won't do anything. And one thing about the illegal mining is that one person can have 20, 30 concessions. And that same person will be operating on a small scale mining a certificate. Does that make any sense?
It doesn't. Not to me.
If I have the capacity to have 20 companies, I cannot tell the bank I am an SME.
Yeah.
You get it? I'm a multi-million corporation if I can run 20 companies in this Ghana. And these mining leases are more or less companies.
Yeah.
So you have 20, 30 companies and you still want to operate under a small scale mining. And these people, some of these people don't even have technical people on the ground. They just go moon tuha. I say me tuha say. Me sheha you ha tuha having party.
Shensu send asa nwa bi na menu. Golden
Mon block ha, mon
chaha. What are we doing to ourselves?
Before we should even grant somebody a mining lease to mine in this country, you should make sure that he provide his technical people. We vet the technical people to see their competence and their level of experience before we grant the mining lease. Nimon just didn't come here to start mining. They brought their people.
Yeah.
We vetted them. We knew that their technical people were competent enough to carry out the business they are doing there. It's only in Ghana. Now mining cost will Krobiswa. The town deteriorates.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But have you been to any Newmont township where they mine before?
No.
But you've been
Yes.
to, right? Look at Ebrim, New Ebrim. I wish how Ebrim is developing is on the same rate as which Ghana itself is developing.
Okay.
Kenya say, for me,
It's also developing here.
developing for that way. Kenya say, I don't know if it is the new policy that they have adopted, but from Hwidium to Kenya Road. I know this area because that is where I grew up.
Okay.
I grew up in a town, a village called Menshia. From Hwidium, you go to.
But Hwidium, do they have network now?
They've always had network.
Chaka.
Hwidium has always. That's our district capital. This is our district capital. Don't look down on us. From Hwidium, you go to Nkasim. Then you head towards Go, so you get to Bahame Kwanta, you branch. Then you go to Dadia Swaba. You go to Mehame, Dadia Swaba, Sunkwa, Sienchim, then my village, Menshia. That's where I grew up, so I know this area well. When I was a little boy, when I fell sick, it either Go Hospital or Hwidium Hospital. So, but I recently heard that they were now going to construct the road.
Okay.
This road has been bad since the first day Newmont stepped foot in Kenya.
Wow.
But if you go to their mining site, in what do you call it, the inner roads, they've used cobblestones. Why can't they just do that for
But do you blame the companies or the community chiefs there?
I heard
they
that
are supposed to be negotiating.
I heard that one.
I
heard that one of the chiefs around that area, they asked him what he wants to be done for them, and he asked for V8, and they also gave it to him.
And then,
yes, and
now pay.
And
that's what you want.
Him being selfish.
Yes, he asked for palace. They built the palace for him.
Oh, come on, but not to develop the community.
But that's the development that he wants. What kind of
palace
development
and
do you want?
V8?
But that's for himself.
His personal development. It is part of the community. He's the community chief.
See, it's
Oh, come on.
Oh, he never know that V8 ma waninye. Nana ibo nana.
Now go to go.
Share.
No one.
And then from Totroso to around Kofor Camp, when you're heading towards Sunyani, the road was constructed by Kofor But because of the heavy trucks,
Yeah.
the road has deteriorated. And who brings the heavy trucks into the area? Newmont. So I think we should start. I'm not criticizing Newmont as a company. I'm just using them as an example. There's Anglogo, look at Obuasi and all that. But because I know the area well, that's why I'm
look at
using
their
them.
roads.
I'm using them as a case study or an example to speak, not because I'm targeting them or anything.
Okay.
So if we decide as a people that it is our goal, you want it, okay, we don't have any problem with you, but develop the community
First.
Invest this amount of money
Exactly.
into the community.
I mean, we can go with them
Because-
60-40.
Yeah.
Because we know the value of the gold that you are going to
Yeah.
take from us. We know. It's not like they just come and they start digging and we don't know the value of the gold they are going to get to. We know.
We know.
And it is inside the contracts, the leases we sign with them. So you can say, out of this amount that you're going to get, this amount should go into developing the community. This amount should go into training people to become your technical people here.
Yeah.
You don't have to bring for maybe for the next 10 years you can bring technical people from outside the country, but after 10 years the indigenes, the people of the area, should be your technical people.
Yeah. So in the first
So,
10
for
years,
instance-
you have to train them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that
if,
they-
if,
Yeah.
if you go to the secondary schools around, you find the best science students
Yeah.
in these schools and all that.
You support
You
them.
support
Yeah.
them, you finance their education, you
Yeah.
even take them to
Yeah.
foreign universities
Universities.
to build their capacity, and in 10 years they'll be ready. How many years does it take to get a university degree? 3. He does his masters, another 2 or 3. Maybe if he wants to do a PhD,
He
2
does.
more years,
2 more
3 years, he's done. Within 9 years, you have
ready
a fully fledged doctor as your technical person coming to help you. And when the time comes and you are going, you leave this technical person here, he also impacts the knowledge that he got onto others. Then we build our own capacity. But no, we don't do that. We just sign the lease, and the next thing they come, they deplete our resources,
And
they
they
spoil our
leave.
water bodies, they spoil our roads, and they leave us.
I don't know if you remember the story with is it Electrochem in Ada,
Yeah.
when they also wanted to start,
Their own salt
Yeah.
thing.
but when it went to Parliament, they got to know that they've actually taken the river, or maybe let me say the lake or the lagoon.
The sea. It's part of the sea.
It's part of the sea,
Yeah.
but that didn't even go well for them. So I think that will even discourage these people to come up.
You see, the electrochem issue is a giant bombshell. If you remember, somewhere in November, the owner of Electrochem came out and said that MPP government did not help the business community. Gabi Ochedaku gave him a response. Do you remember the response, Gabi?
No, told me.
Gabi Ochedaku told him on Twitter that he's ungrateful, and the Adan salt has been there for years, and government after government after government have tried to commercialize it until they gave it to him. He said, until we gave it to you.
Who is the owner of Electrocom?
Magdan,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you're pushing me to
Oh
mention
no! Someone asked me right now on my page, so I have to ask you.
yes.
Someone asked me here. So.
it. Okay, the person can go to Mineral Commission. They'll find it. I didn't say anything. I didn't even mention anything. And the number of people who have died over this Adan mining thing.
Yeah.
Why must we do this to ourselves?
This brings me back to our topic for discussion. Do you think we are actually fighting this? We are tackling this fight in the right
In
measure.
the right way.
Of course,
We are.
we are.
Even for
But-
someone to put his presidency on the line.
Yes, of course. You see, I don't fault the leaders. Sometimes
Okay.
I don't fault the leaders.
Who do you fault?
If Nanado commissioned Operation Vanguard. Was Nanado following them or holding the gun to?
No.
These are policy makers. They will make the policy. We will need the public service to implement the policy.
So, whose fault is it?
If we ban chamfines, will the president or the minister go and stand at the port opening containers to see whether a chamfine is in it or not? No. Whose job it is it after the political class has made the policy to ban chamfine to actually prevent the chamfines from coming in? It is those at the ports. So if those at the ports opens the ports up and allow these things to come in, then I think that heaping the blame on the political elite alone won't get us anywhere. We must start calling the various institutions that are supposed to help the fight of Galamsey out. In where the Lindador is, what's the name of the town? Enyinem. Is it
close to? It's not Enyinem.
Bunsu?
Bunsu, yeah.
Around that enclave.
Yeah.
Go and see illegal miners have mines. Police station Kromu Tuegu from.
That side, there is this. Is it a mining school or there's something? A particular school there, right behind the school. They are mining there. The security guard confronted them one time, and they threw him over the wall. Right there.
Police station cry ye two Galamsey na kotu the police for what?
And like there's a police station. Like.
If the local police,
it's funny.
I'm saying if the
behind the police station.
If the police,
so what are they also doing about it?
If the police station, if the policemen over there cannot stop that Galamsey going on at their backyard, then they have no business being policemen. I don't have to blame Nanado for this. I don't have to blame John Mahama for this.
But okay, I get you. You are the police man. I am mining here.
Okay.
You come to tell me I should stop mining, and I tell you that the president has given me the license to mine here. What will you do?
Who are you?
The president has given you the license to mine. Why?
Yeah. Why am mining?
So if the president gives somebody license to mine somewhere and the activities is going to hurt or kill people, we should allow it go on because the president has. Do you know what they call positive defiance?
Have you ever seen some in Ghana before?
Yes, there has been a lot of them in Ghana, and people have lost their jobs for it.
Exactly. So I should lose my job.
Lose your job. If you have to lose your job to protect the state, lose your job to protect the state.
Okay.
If I'm not saying that I am an angel, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But if I feel that your activities is going to not hurt just me, by my daughter's children, I have every right to fight you today and make sure that I safeguard my daughter's children's future. Now Elon Musk is trying to relocate us to what do you call it? Mars or something. Do you think you and I can afford that trip?
Yeah, I can.
And sometimes I ask myself, if you are rich enough, if you have the resources to make Mars habitable for human race, why can't you make the earth we are destroying habitable for human race, for us to stay here instead of going there?
He is creating his own world.
I asked this question on Twitter. I tagged him in it, and up to today I've not had a response. But I see him responding to other people.
Oh, yes.
I wish he could have responded to me.
He won't.
Let's have a conversation. A poor man versus a rich man.
He won't. And it's not like he hasn't seen it. He sees everything.
So these things, in as much as we want to blame the political elite, which they have to accept part of the blame. Part of the blame should also go to we, the indigents, and the various institutions that we have set up to help us keep this thing. There are soldiers, there are policemen who would just one day decide that, oh, your cooperation on Galamsey side. They are not going to fight the Galamsey. They are also going to get money from the Galamseyers. Getting money from them as a state institution legitimizes their action. Oh, soldier for no baha across so much is canoma jaiho. Police for Kraba has so much is canoma jaiho. And I know people I know soldiers and policemen who are standing trial as we speak now for these kind of actions. Just that I'm not privy to mention their names, and it wouldn't be fair to go into those masters here. But I think we've gotten to the point that we need to tell people in their faces, not just look for easy targets because we voted for them and we should fight them, we should do this. There are people we didn't vote for who are there, who are even causing more harm than the people we voted for. Just the police station example that I made. Did you vote for the chief inspector at that place? The chief that allowed them to mine, to do that mining over there, did we vote for him? Then the Minerals Commission CEO, did we vote for him? But he's there, and he has been appointed by somebody who we voted for. Instead of doing the right thing, he's there apportioning concessions, allegedly apportioning concession to himself. Dr. Frimpong Boateng, we brought him in with his experience as a medical doctor, with his experience as a politician, to help us fight this Galamsey. What happened? He ended up writing a report which the president didn't even read.
And that report is still there.
That report is still there, and that report names people.
And that is where I have a problem with the new administration. The report is not dead, it is still there. You have come to power. When you were in opposition, you made so much noise about this report. Why the president having no opinion? Because he's a corporate, because his people are involved, this and that. You've come to power. The report is there. What have you done about it? In fact, when you were in opposition, you told us that those being arrested
when you were in opposition, I wasn't in opposition with them.
I'm actually speaking today.
No, say they. Okay. Somebody will say
when they were
with them.
When they were in opposition, their campaign message was this: those being arrested for the Galamsey are not the ones to be arrested because they can't even afford a charm fine, not to talk of excavators. So when you come to power, you grant them amnesty and arrest the kingpins behind it. The kingpins are named in Professor Frimpong's report. Why haven't you dug into that report and arrest those kingpins?
Okay. Professor Frimpong's report, do you know it is a subject of investigation under the OSP?
So are they investigating it?
This is the question the OSP should answer.
You and I know that the report hasn't even been read by any president to be submitted to the OSP.
But the OSP invited Professor Frimpong last year and started his investigation into the matter.
And what happened?
And we should be asking the OSP. He says that if you go to his website, you will see the catalog of cases he's investigating. Let's go onto his website and see if that case is part of it. If that case is not part of it, we will ask him why. And you see one funny thing about Ghanaian laws. We cannot have a para investigations. Once the OSP touches it, another state institution cannot touch it. So you now see why the other time I told you the Kenroforata thing is all skirmishes. It's all skirmishes. That man will go scot-free. Nothing will happen to Kenroforata, you see. Just like the CCA Adapa. Now CCA Adapa is in court, and when they ask him, Usika saying a year, I was in him. Then they would not court here. If I'm the judge, I just say that I'm discharging and acquitting the accused people. Usika saying I also wouldn't sikana no. Then it can be zero, right?
Yeah.
It can be zero. It can be a crying right.
It can be 1 CD too. So I'll just tell them to give you one CD and go.
No, not one CD. I'll just say it can also be zero. It can be a point right. So when you can I run no. So when you know bit me about so it can be a right. And Timonko, but try say monko. This is the kind of country that we have, and the laws that we say is supposed to govern and help us develop.
You mentioned that you think we are fighting this. We are
Yes.
tackling this fight the right way.
Yes.
In what manner?
Okay, so I just told you about the committee they are setting to review their licensing regime.
Yeah.
And I also think that getting the proper structures in place is the basis for this whole Galamsey fight.
Okay.
If we are able to get our licensing regime right, it's not always about the brute force.
Okay.
Let's just get the licensing regime right, and then try to enforce the laws. When we start enforcing our laws, which the new government has started, if they start doing that, and our licensing regime is right, you see, we should have tiers in our mining licensing regime. It shouldn't just be large scale and small scale. We should have medium scale.
Okay.
The small scale should be the ones what they are sonne pickers. Kutututu baby.
Baby say
Kakre bi no kura na sa na pine bi na they normal or the yen say I know when you gold. You get it? That one should be small scale. But if you move from buying an excavator, it shouldn't be small scale anymore. If you can rent, even if you cannot buy and you can rent, it shouldn't be a small scale. And I'm happy that the new government says that now the government is going to take charge of exploration. They are going to explore, they are going to know, they are going to map the country and know where gold is. So if you come, you are now not going to dig and find gold and come and tell them who gold will have my license and go to. But they were going to tell you that here there's gold deposit. We know the amounts there. And if you go, this is the amount you're going to get, and this is our cut.
okay.
If we are able to do that, then we will know that aha you assume yenko in as much as gold wa hano eho you assume yenko in as much as gold wa hano aha forest yenko in as much as gold wa hano cocoa ewa ha yenko. You see, our cocoa production has declined by 60% too. 60%.
Yeah.
I'm a son of a cocoa farmer. My mother is still into cocoa farming. Cocoa farming paid my school fees. Not galamsey, not gold, not nothing. It is cocoa farming.
Yeah.
That made most of us who we are today, even though we are not there where we want to be yet.
Sure.
Can you imagine a thriving sector like the cocoa industry across the world? Then we are declining at 60% in the last 8 years. That alarms me. If it was around for the last 20, 30 years, 40, 50 years, I will understand. But in the last 8 years, cocoa has declined. Cocoa production has declined to over 60%. And look at the debts hanging around cocoa bot's neck. All these activities, all these galamsey activities, plays a role. If you remember, a video came up around 2022 or 2021 when where the man said, "Wado cocoa sa unyamfa so bia galamsey for no buy na motor wa timi si 4-bedroom house." Enti aban bi ntimi kan so ntwa cocoa.
Sure.
In the early part of 2013, 2012, my father will call me, Stephen, wam say akuya for a fertilizer aba, bra, be kwaje me de ebre me. I'll go get the fertilizer for free. The only thing you need is a ube tria car sika. Car na the fertilizer and be ube tria car na the co. We were getting, what do you call it? Insecticide, pesticide for free.
Free, sure. I remember these things.
And these cocoa farmers were getting bonuses. Here will be a bonus.
What happened to all these?
When I was young, no, yeah, the better calculate this cocoa season no query, yeah. Now I call Cratchy, which they had a book called Passbook.
Yeah.
Now Kwana new Coco Cratchy and same BBR, then he'll give you a bonus. And that bonus, the spending of the bonus was even sweeter than the money of the Gogo itself. Until we decided that we are going to get rid of all these things. There were no longer incentives for the farmers. Because my doko come a lifetime. And for so many free so. And then CB. We don't. When Mahama was leaving, he left 20 million Ghana cedis as a seed money to start a cocoa pension scheme for cocoa farmers. What happened to that money? What happened to the pension fund that money was supposed to set up for the cocoa farmer? If the cocoa farmer knows that I'm farming today, they are deducting maybe 10 cedis per a bag, putting down when I'm at a certain age. Cocoa farmers don't retire, they die. But at a certain age, maybe when I'm 55, when I'm 60, I can access this money. I can use that money to build my house. They wouldn't sell their lands to galamseyers because they know say at the papa be the money man cocoa no. When it gets there, they are going to get something out of it. But no, we decided that to hell with them. The amount we are supposed to pay them, we are not paying them. When they sell their cocoa farms to them. So the whole galamsey thing is very bad. We need to tackle it and tackle it well. And I'm happy that this new government has started putting things in place to kickstart. This government is less than 3 months, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Very much.
I always say that in policy, there's nothing like I started a policy and then I'm reaping the results in 3 months. It takes time.
Okay.
Whatever things they are doing, I feel that we should give them at most 18 months. That is 1.5 years. Let's see the results of the things they are implementing.
Okay. All right.
So what do you think they should have done from the onset when they found that what these people are doing is not actually small scale mining, but it has escalated into more or less like an industry?
They should have put the proper structures in place to bring them, to capture them properly in our laws. Because, as I already said, if you're using an excavator to mine, it's no longer
A small scale.
And it's not just the land you are digging. The excavator also pollutes the air. So it is more complicated than just digging and taking your gold. If it was that, nobody would mine. But the pollution the excavators will also give, because of the gases they are burning and the chemicals they are releasing into the air, they should have moved them from the small scale into the industry. You get it? Because if we think that it is just about the digging, then we are making a mistake. It is not just about the digging.
Okay.
If we flood this small area with 1,000 excavators, I tell you, by the end of the day, everybody in this area will inhale carbon monoxide, and if you go to the hospital and test for it, they will see traces in your blood. So when we realize this, we should have taken the steps to capture them properly, make laws that would capture them and make sure they did the right things.
Okay.
The emission levy, this emission levy, it shouldn't be we the citizens paying for it. It should be these people paying for it, the industry.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
And now they've brought something sustainability levy. It's for the mining sector. It is it is the best.
Sure.
Because at the end of the day, when you mine and you leave, we need to reclaim our land. And these things, one thing that we can do is that when they come, when they go for their license, we should have some amount of money that they have to pay. Leave it there. when you are done mining and we go and check to decommission your mining site and you've not adhered to the proper practices, you use that money and reclaim the land. If you reclaim your land, come for your money.
Okay.
Just like when you go for an Airbnb, they take some amount down, and
In
when you are
case
leaving,
of-
yes, when you destroy something, they'll use
Yeah.
it. We should start having those kind of measures in our laws.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was it about the mining and how we are supposed to go about it. Still with us on Ghana Talks Radio, this is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Let's hear from you on all our social media platforms, on YouTube. Let's get interactive. Also on our WhatsApp platform 0202 544 614. 0202 544 614. Still in the studios with us, holding the conversation going as Mr. Dubik Stevens and Esinam. On to the next topic is a woman who has been making waves this entire week. She's kept quiet for a very long time, and now it seems she's found her voice. It seems a lot of people have really found their voices in the past 3 months. What happened? Why were they silent in the previous years that they couldn't say all these things they are saying now?
Ache mafia or mafia.
Ache mafia or mafia them.
So I'm listening.
On 31st March 2022, a bill was introduced. A bill called the e-levy bill. It is a tax that even Peter in heaven told Judas that Judas means all your mafia opiska, but Sikaya and Crawford G.F.E. and Crawford way. As in what you now, what the tone Jesus no. But still, one short man said, nah, I'm going to so Zacchaeus and his holy father. Kenufuriata. So, yes, this bill was actually introduced on 31st March and passed on 1st May 2022. Now, for this bill to get passed, they needed some numbers in Parliament to pass the bill.
All hands on deck.
All hands on deck. One lady wasn't present. So that means the bill couldn't or shouldn't have been passed.
Yeah.
Yes,
No.
still the bill got passed.
You see, the woman is a smart woman. She's a lawyer.
Yeah.
And then she didn't use the word wasn't present. She used the word abstained.
The week. Yesterday,
So she was there, but she abstained.
I told you. I just told you. I listened to the entire interview of the woman. The woman never said I wasn't present.
Okay.
And even Obi asked her. So we saw somebody in the chamber who looked like you. Was it you? Yeah. She went like, yes, Mia. I want to say, oh, wow. Now I can send you there. The woman never said I wasn't present. She said I chose to abstain. I can be present and choose to abstain.
Abstain.
I don't know if that picture of the woman who was wearing that thing, that wasn't the day the bill was passed. That was the day the budget was read.
No, that was the day the bill was passed.
No,
it was.
Make your inquiries well.
It was. It was
Make
the
your
day.
inquiries
You
well.
see,
Make your
you
inquiries
see,
well.
the day the bill was passed, she came in. That person came in, whether it's the woman or not.
Or not.
She says it's her. So
It's her.
she came in, sat, exchanged pleasantries with people, then left.
So that picture wasn't that day. That is what I'm trying to establish here. Whether that day the bill was passed, she came in or not, nobody saw her. That is why the minority then challenged that bill in court, because the numbers weren't up to.
So, and up to today, up until today, that case has not been scheduled for hearing.
So why is our court doing that?
Afenya Wakin took a case, to the Supreme Court on Friday.
No,
on Fridays. Let me just say this: on Fridays, Supreme Court don't sit.
Yeah. But then sat for
they don't sit. He took the case to court on Friday in the morning. By 12, they have empaneled people. 7 to come and sit on the case and deal with the case on that same day.
See, this thing we are talking about is so that this alone makes the entire levy they collected from us illegal, and they should compensate us.
No.
Why?
See, until somebody goes to court, and challenge the bill, bring evidence that the people there were not up to the number.
It's still going
to be there, and we've already paid. If the minorities case had been heard, because more parliament, they know what went on, and they had all the evidences to prove that the bill was not properly passed.
That's why they presented it to court.
Exactly, and that is why the court has not heard the case. I won't be surprised now that case will be scheduled for hearing.
Really?
Yes,
I'll be very happy.
I won't be surprised. And do you know what it will do?
No.
It will put the current government in a difficult state if they now ask them to refund all the money they've collected. The money has been already used. They have used, and I remember when the minority took that case to court, the Supreme Court told GRA that they should keep proper records. Listen, in the ruling, they told them to keep proper records
for day of accountability.
Yes. In case it becomes null and void, or the law was passed illegally, they can now have the records to refund people's money back to them. So it is a trap hanging there, just waiting for somebody to trigger it. And that is the danger of this whole e-levy skirmishes. Because you collected the money, you've used it. If somebody is able to prove that the law was not properly passed, now the burden is on the
government,
the new government,
to refund it.
To refund it.
In Ghana, oh, one I calculate to the amount.
Hey, me the cash down the bread. Sika kasango for the bread. Investment.
Charlie.
Because me, when I'm sending money to somebody, I feel I need to have a record of it. So instead of just going to the vendor and telling, oh, just send the mass message, I'll put it on my wallet.
So that first, you send it.
Then I send
yourself.
It. Even if it is 50 cedis, even if it is 20 cedis, that's what I do.
Yeah.
So me, if they pass that, if it goes to court and then it turns out that it was illegally passed, hey, Mumbra mi fi a very party. Mumbra mi fi a very party.
But in all honesty, in all seriousness, the government of Ghana, day in, day out, take we the citizens for a ride. They don't respect us.
Yeah.
They don't. And I don't know if I can blame the then minority also. Was sitting aloof to see this. I know they said they are not part of, they are washing their hands of blah blah blah, but man,
they didn't wash their hands of it. The then minority really fought the e-levy.
For that one, yeah.
When was the budget read? In November.
Yeah.
When was the e-levy passed? In May. They really tried, but we Ghanaians, I don't know if to say we were cowards or what to say. We failed to give them the necessary push.
Sure.
I imagine having 100,000 Ghanaians at the Parliament House protesting.
Yeah.
And Ghana soldier for no cry Ghana
saying.
Add police and soldier to combined. If you take 100,000 people to the Parliament House to protest, they cannot stop them.
They can't. They can't.
So you now see why I the other day when I came, I talked about Kufu Dampare. Under him, he made sure protests didn't go on in this country. We didn't give them the necessary push to push this thing. At the point I felt that you jaya jumana bo expecting them to do it all. They were just 137 people.
Yeah.
Against the entire government machinery. 137 men and women against a entire government machinery. Staker told us we will pass it. He said we will pass it. We are in government. We will pass it. And actually they passed it.
They did. Yeah.
The minority then did everything they could. If the people of Ghana had given them the support that they wanted, I think that it would have helped. And when they even said they were going to, when government changed and the new administration said they were going to cancel it, you heard people, oh, canceling e-levy is not a good thing.
Yeah.
Don't cancel it.
Yeah.
It's helping. It will help us. You said there's no money. Where are you going to get the money to do whatever you're going to do? Yes. If you are hungry and the food is meager, you don't have to chew your fingers in addition to the food to feel okay. All right?
Yeah.
You need to eat the food and probably find water and drink it to top it up. So go be ready watch the honor benya 5 cities how they are top it up. But we decided that an industry that is upcoming, that is now growing, let's tax it. You kill the industry. The other time when I came, I made an analogy here that if I send you 300 cedis, if I load 300 cedis on my wallet and I send it to you, it is 300 cedis.
Yeah.
But if you send that same 300 cedis or 200 cedis to S&M, now the transaction becomes 500 cedis. But the taxable money, the money itself is 300 cedis. It be mekan. Just a transaction on a wire, I'm an double, but
and yet they are going to tax it again.
Exactly. Yeah. And every stage of the transaction, you are taxed.
It's serious. See, your calculator is going to go for Japan from Adiwaya.
And yesterday they came to tell us, woman, just can't and you people promised us, you start, you this, you that, you do this, you do it. Oh, come be a e-levy. My boss, one of my bosses said, he said, e-levy, I don't know who drew.
I said,
e-levy. With deep power, e-levy. So for the woman now to come out and say she abstained, I think she's being smart by not saying she wasn't present.
She wasn't present.
If she had said I wasn't present,
it would have put in her party.
Yeah, not her party herself. Because if you see a crime being perpetrated and you don't say it, you become accessory to that crime.
Yeah.
Because if they brought somebody in to represent her, it is impersonation, which is a crime.
Yeah.
And you know it was not you and you didn't say anything. You have condoned it. You have aided and abetted the crime. So not only your party, not only the people, not only the person who came in there, you yourself who saw it over the years and didn't say anything and didn't act towards it, you have implicated yourself. And any punishment that is going to be meted to the person who came pretending to be you, you also get your share of the punishment. So I think the woman is a lawyer. She said it. She has been 25 years on the bar. She knows what she's doing. She knows exactly what she's doing.
I've never seen her talk this angrily before.
You remember I once told you here in this studio that you don't break the law. It is the lawyers who break the law. You fall foul to the law.
Yeah.
She's breaking the law now with using the technicalities to say I abstained. Na me wo honso me de na me nyintum.
Yeah.
Na me ni hokra. It's two different things. Me koye na manka bi.
Yeah.
It's not the same as man kokra. You get it?
Yeah.
So that is the technicalities the woman found and is using to make her case without putting herself in trouble. She's making her case. And do you know what she's trying to do? She will go back and fight for that Domi Kwabenya seat. Of course. Now Kwabene. Ajuma Ben as Adwasa Fobe. People like them were tailor-made for politics. Sika ofi wanye Juma da krana obe survive. So for them, for people like them, politics is just like something to keep them preoccupied. Something to not do and not feel bored. Even if she set up a business on her own, she will employ people to run it for her. But being in parliament engages her. Being on these various committees, even if she's not a minister, it engages her. She'll have something. They will bring a research paper to her for her to read and also go to the parliament and make arguments, ask questions. Go on seminars. Educate herself better. Poor and needy scholars. Apostle Kojo Safoba. Mose were poor and needy.
Huh? Also, Obi Krasi or Berman a bribe from school feeding program. I saw no if you are Kojo Safoba. First scanning.
And yashi. Nama man a poor and
Napo scholarship.
Napo Asante Hene.
Ewo fast.
Mose were poor and needy. Na me ya beti e nka me zenka wa di wo se san kofo ye poor and needy zenka wa di wo poor and needy achia nka ye mia.
Man. So yes, she's strategically denying the fact that she was involved in
Yes.
Yeah. And what does that make of the parliament, the 8th parliament? What does it make of them?
Okay. The 8th parliament gave us an opportunity to do something great for this country, but we messed it up. If you look at the election results from the night of the 7th of December 2020, and young people in the majority in that parliament, they took it by force. It was taken to the point that when they realized that they can't be the overwhelming majority, they went after Jechikwesion's seat.
Yeah.
There's an interview. John Bodu himself says majority in the NDC for far. It was a phone conversation I know we'll be having. If NDC had been the majority at that time, Enka DDP the amount of borrowing I cost so imagine say Omaya was say Omani Nisika, we don't have money, we are struggling. Pension for Sika, what don't say Bomafabi. Now Wukuya was down with the $350 million I put in our parliament say yem pass and a factor one for tax waivers. Are you is something wrong with you? If you don't care about the common pensioner, the common pensioner, why must you care for a conglomerate like Sunda? Do you know who they are? What more make clear soft?
Yeah.
Tax waiver for what?
Did they plead for it?
Yes, they said they asked for it. But what I later heard is that there are contractors in government who would go to these companies and tell them that, oh, give us this amount. Okay, your tax rate, you are supposed to pay tax this amount. Okay, out of that amount, give us like say 10%. We can go and get you a tax waiver and you don't pay this tax. Definitely the person will give you the money. He's a business person, he wants the profit.
That's what they do.
Of course. So to when I'm here mate ni, and I have from a trotron, I'm saying, trotron, if you have called Accra no, your friend saying,
10 cities.
10 cities.
Mental brodo mana.
Oh dear, mami 2 cities. Oh, na me ma onjo so me nche ha. I won't 2 cities.
Fast.
So that is how it is. That is how it was. So you are charging us e-levy, forcing us to give you something that we don't agree with, and in the end you go and then you want to give tax waivers to your friends, and the minority succeeded in shooting it down. Look at Supreme Court judges. One more call retirement though. Yes, one more call retirement in December. And so now Supreme Court judges as reserve. One more call I need
like
I have football.
Was that?
Yeah, football near.
Well, Munkoy, must see a baby guanza.
So if we had allowed the way the Ghanaian people voted to work and not try to tweak certain things to suit certain political agenda, and Kasaniema we no nkoso.
Okay.
Because even though the minority didn't have the numbers, they fought a good fight.
Okay.
There are certain things they were able to block, and these tax waivers is part of them. This Supreme Court appointment is part of them.
Okay.
At a point, the Chief Justice says, "Yemfa number no, yemko 20." Imagine if MPP had overwhelming majority. Kehwana come the court 20. And almost a sow monko for Google. Tisenka asem kohwa NDC asem be kana sonko, MPP asem be kana sonko.
Okay.
And we don't have to have courts like that. I'm aspiring to be a lawyer, and I don't want to work in that kind of court where certain class of people will be treated different whilst others will be treated different.
Inequality.
I don't want to work under say if it gets to a point that our court becomes like that, then I would even stop schooling. I won't go major requirement to us. Because in the end, if I go there, they won't dispense justice based on the facts of the matter, but they would give me a semblance of justice based on my political coloration or the person involved in fighting for the justice.
Okay. Is there anything you want to add to it?
But why has she waited till now before she's speaking up? Is it that she wants to sell out the NPP government, or she wants to paint herself white and gain the trust of her constituency again?
Okay.
That's a good question.
Okay. All these years, who was the villain in the Domiko Abenya and the entire e-levy hold up?
Yeah, her name has been there.
She was a villain.
Yeah, she was.
Right? And at that time, the party was preparing for a major election. It wouldn't have been right for her to come out at that time trying to purge herself. This is the right time. This is the right time. This is the time the party needs healing. Let them all vent. Let them all come out and say what is bothering them. And in the end, when all is said and done, we will see their concerns and the party hierarchy will address them. We need a strong NPP. We need a stronger NDC in government. But we also need a strong NPP to make sure the NDC in government works in the interest of Ghanaians.
Okay.
Say Jama NDC for Muntiminye. Ye Jama NPP for Muntiminye. So we need these two political parties. I don't think a third force will ever come to Ghana. In Ghana, it is our Kotoko and our Haas. It is our MPP and our NDC. Third force, but you can't. And even sometimes, I let me veer off a little. I think the strategies are like the third forces are trying to even bring. It's even wrong. It won't work.
What are some of the strategies?
Okay, they just want to come and dominate. It doesn't work that way. You have to start by picking a small group, develop the place, use that as a case study. I like what Kwame A Plus is doing. He's gearing himself towards that direction. He's taking a constituency, concentrating his small resources, making sure to develop that constituency properly. And now he can say that, look at my constituency, look at what I've done there.
Give me an entire region.
Give me an entire region, give me the entire country. Let's see what I can do. No, but Cheddar, nobody knows what you've done. Everything that you've
We
done.
don't know what Chada has done.
What has he done?
He has bought lions and tigers.
So he wants to turn Ghana into a zoo.
But the fee he said he would bring to Kumasi.
Yeah, it's another thing. But things happen in Ghana.
You don't need to be a president to build a sea to take the sea to Kumasi. You can just be an investor.
Yeah.
Say that, okay, I've looked at our freight challenges. As in when the thing comes to Tema or Takrade, getting it to Kumasi is difficult. So I have maybe $300 billion. I want to build a canal from Accra or Takrade to Kumasi. And if any freight or any ship uses it, I'll charge this amount. You don't need to be a president to do that.
Be consultants.
Yeah, you don't need to be a president to do that. It will even be a business venture to you, and you can gather that money and now buy your way into presidency.
Well, yesterday, the National Youth Authority, the NYA,
Yeah.
announced that they are about to implement one of the NDC's major policy campaigns, which is the National Apprenticeship Program. So we should be looking forward to that. The National Apprenticeship Program, what is it about?
Okay. It is simple.
Okay.
If you are a craftsman, okay, let me start from here. I always complain and say this, that we have concentrated all our resources into the formal education, to the extent that if somebody is going to the secondary school, we say that he should go to school for free. But if somebody is an apprentice going for an apprenticeship, we neglect that person to go find 4,000, 5,000 cedis to go and pay.
Okay.
And when they are done, even machines to work with becomes an issue.
Okay.
So what the apprenticeship program seeks to do is that they are going to find senior craftsmen. So in this locality, if you are the tailor here, they will find you and give you all the necessary tools that you need. And anybody in this area that wants to learn tailoring will come to you and learn it for free. Okay. And when they are done graduating, the state will equip them to go and then also start something small. So that is the basic concept of the national apprenticeship.
Okay.
And I'm happy that such an initiative, such a policy is coming. We can't have all of us writing, signing papers, sitting in air-conditioned office. We must have carpenters, we must have plumbers, we must have tailors, we must have masons. Because even if I go to school and become an architect in Ghana, I'm not taught how to lay a block in KUST in the architecture school. I'm taught how to draw the plan, how to make the structural integrity strong and all that. I'll need a mason to implement what I draw on
the
paper. So if we don't have quality masons, yet the demand is so. Imagine in Ghana as we speak right now, the best tilers are not Ghanaians.
Yeah.
We go to Togo to bring tilers to tile our floors. Abba. It is sad. If a country like Ghana cannot produce tilers, then what are you doing? We should be even manufacturing these tiles here. Because we have laterite, clay. It's not the kind of things Ghana have. Clay are the tiles. Ghana is rich in it in the western region. But we don't have it here. We don't have people doing it. We don't have the expertise. We don't have the technical people to do it. So I think that we should, looking at the formal sector, looking at the informal sector, I beg your pardon, is the right way to go. And if, and only if, we can implement this policy and not making it a party something.
Normally, that's another side of it.
Normally, now it becomes a party thing. Instead of educating or impacting the whole population, it becomes selective. And as soon as you ban or MPP ni yemfano, as soon as you ban or NDC ni yemfano. I remember in my village, Kokoma spraying exercise. It became a politics thing. We number this section of group AB. We number that section where a free we no monsa aquakudi we numsa. We know like that. If we can make it devoid of politics, it will be good. I think it will help.
People are also with the assertion that you didn't believe in the party's policies. I believed in it. I campaigned for it. So if they've come to power and they are implementing it, who should be the right person to first benefit from it? Is that a good argument?
Any e-schools, e-blocks, you're calling MPP for women. Not free education, so you can't this in Europe. You see, campaign is campaign.
Yeah.
I say things that will make people vote for me.
Okay.
And you say things that will make people vote for you. But in the end, the government is not
for a group of people.
Yes, it is for us. Whether Ottoman one for Mano.
Okay.
Or Banwaka said that.
Yeah.
Or better.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a national anthem. No, you know, sorry, or sorry. One can send me the man for a man. Sorry. And I go for the catch it or he say. What do I mean? What do I mean? Sorry, Charlie.
Me ba on solly.
Sorry, Charlie.
On solly.
Then you can't know in an anthem about any president or so on. Sorry, sorry. So these things, it shouldn't be about whether I believed in it or not. Once it's going to help me, once it's going to help the people,
okay,
let them benefit. Don't put political colors to these things.
Okay.
Let's make it in such a way that everybody gets benefit out of it. So that's the only way we can progress as a people. Okay. Building a country shouldn't be like other people are progressing and other people are retrogressing. It should be, we should carry each other along. Whether we believe in the same political ideology or not, we should carry everybody.
Okay.
Everybody should have a taste of the national cake.
Okay.
It shouldn't just be a group of people.
Okay.
That's the reason why I've always had a problem with we implementing just the free SHS and neglecting the people who have made a choice not to go to secondary school. There are people who, not that they are dumbo, but they feel that na secondary school you cry me cry na me na me yes me na me twa me yes can't was on university. Nti mami nko sua adwuma.
Okay.
You get it?
Yeah.
So these people are a choice they made for themselves. It is not because they cannot afford it or because they don't want to, but they've weighed the entire what do you call it, pros and cons, and they've decided that me go school now and that person shouldn't suffer because go school.
Yeah.
We should also have something, an incentive to also aid them to develop.
Yeah. And you know what else thing you are talking about on Tuesdays, the Ghana Talks Radio, we have a segment for up and coming entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So we give them the platform to come and talk about what they do, their journey so far, sometimes the challenges and all these things.
And then me basu be. Then be unko konkete me ba me aka.
Oh, what shall I say that? What shall I say?
What's up and coming?
What shall I say now?
Me up, but me not coming here. And me I'm up.
And this week, the person that came on the show, due to some financial challenges, he had to stop school at a certain age or stage, go into plumbing, and today he has employed the informal sector. Has been able to employ about 4 people. he's still receiving people to train. He says that sometimes he's being contracted by people to come and teach their folks, the TVET schools. He goes there to teach some of them about plumbing.
So
that's from the informal sector.
So imagine if we had given him what we are giving the apprenticeships now. Where will he be?
Very far.
That is why the apprenticeship program is good. Akufo-Addo became a lawyer by not sitting in a classroom. He became a lawyer by being an apprentice to a lawyer. That's why sometimes if people say Akufo-Addo don't find a law certificate, I start laughing. People in that time, they didn't go to law school. If your father is rich, you find a lawyer and go there and take you there for him to teach you the law. And when you are done, you just come sit for the bar exams, and if you pass, you become a lawyer.
You become a lawyer.
So if lawyers at that time, we could have apprentices to become lawyers. And now Akufo-Addo and his family have one of the biggest law firms in Ghana. Why can't we do same for the carpenters? Why can't we do same for the masons? Why can't we do same for this?
Sure. So it's a good call. It's a good call for the NYA to, launch the much anticipated apprenticeship program, and we hope that the government doesn't politicize it. They expand it to all and all.
Protocol.
And also the youth should take advantage of this, because this is something that we've all been crying for. So once it is here, let's embrace it with both arms and both legs, even with our backs, and make something out of ourselves. We've always been complaining about unemployment. This is a pathway to get yourself employed, and you establish yourself with this. So kudos to government, kudos to Pablo, who is anchoring this NYA policy. On to our last topic of the day.
Yeah, so let me read some messages on our
Okay.
YouTube page. This is coming from Jomani Abubakari. He said, watching you live from Ahafo, Goso. Thanks for speaking for cocoa farmers.
I know
Wow.
him. He's my brother.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Wow.
You do?
Wow.
He said, thank you for speaking for cocoa farmers. And we have Kojo. He says, is there any reason why the government is not looking into the use of drones? This is much better than employing marine spirits personnel. Hey, blue water marine spirits personnel.
Of course, but you see, when they start using the drones, they will still need people to control the drones, and these marine spirits personnel can be the ones
Exactly
taking care of the drones.
But Kojo, I like your name. The marine spirit.
Kojo, it is. I think that
MSP.
when they start all these things, I think they'll be given responsibilities to also do these things.
marine spirits personnel.
Wow.
And then we have another one from Agustina. So watching you live from Taco, much love.
He's my brother too.
Wow.
Hey.
Augustina.
No,
Augustine.
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 His name is TB.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
He's
I heard
my cousin.
Augustina, so
Hey.
I thought he was.
So today it's my family members watching the show.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Thank you so
kudos
much.
Kudos to the Biggs family. We
My
thank you for
my
getting
family
in
members
touch.
are watching the show.
Yeah, we actually enjoy your interactions here. So that was some comments from some people watching us live. You can also add your comments, your suggestions, and your views on all the topics we've discussed so far. Moving on to our last topic of the day. The CATS, the Consumer Unity and Trust Society. That's what they choose to call themselves, CATS. So the Consumer Unity and Trust Society International calls for the passage of Consumer Protection Bill.
We talked about this here some time ago. You remember? When I told you Kofi Kapito is heading an institution called a Consumer Protection Agency. You remember? Okay. What I later found out was it is not a state-backed something.
Okay.
for the start. I didn't know. I thought it was a state back something, but later I realized that it wasn't it. For us, a country like Ghana to be here without having consumer protection laws is a little bit problematic. What brought about our conversation like the last time was on the Vars Day, when we were talking about the disparity in pricing.
Yeah.
When it comes to delivery and courier services.
Yeah, true.
That's brought about that conversation. And if you look at that space, it is not regulated. Anybody can just decide that, oh, me see. Even taxi. You see, when you travel outside the country, and let me use the American system because I'm a little bit familiar with that.
Okay.
When you travel to America, there are meters in the car checking kilometers you've driven and the price you're going to pay. You get it? So if he drives you 1 kilometer, you know how much a charge for 1 kilometer is, depending on the type of taxi you are using. You get it?
Yeah.
But here in Ghana, it's not like that. Okwafe na ni nipa ni bediano, mema 50, mema 10, mema 20, oh 40 bra oh yenko. And even with that, why do you come Ira? But if we have laws governing these kind of things, even when you pick a taxi, you know how much you're paying and you know where you go when something, if you misplace something in a taxi. I'm not saying that people don't break the system in the United States, but at least it minimizes the problems that they would have had. So I think that check.
But do you know how long it has been? The bill has been in existence.
No, I can't tell.
Since 2006, and yet it hasn't been passed.
You see, the bill hasn't been in existence in 2006. There has been plans to introduce the bill.
The draft came about in 2006.
The draft is not a bill. It becomes a bill once it's laid in Parliament.
So it got laid in Parliament 2008. And it still hasn't been passed. How many presidents?
If it was laid into, let me give the viewers a little education on how it works. If the bill was laid in 2008 and was not passed in that Parliament, the bill is dead.
So
it must be reintroduced. There's nothing like we started a bill in in the 8th Parliament and it wasn't passed, so we are carrying it forward into the 9th Parliament. No. It must be reintroduced as entirely new bill.
Okay.
New things must go into it, new consultations and all that. First reading, second reading, third reading, before the passage. So in as much as the draft bill was ready in 2006 and it was laid in 2008 and it wasn't passed, the people who championed the bill, whether government
introduce it
or whoever it is, need to reintroduce it for it to be passed. As it stands now, there's no bill like that. It's a draft law lying somewhere.
Okay.
And it's now either it can be a private member's bill, it can be what do you call it? A government-sponsored bill. One thing I commend the previous government for is giving us the private members law, where a private member can sponsor a bill.
Okay.
It's a good thing, and I think Professor Michael Quay doesn't get the credit he deserves in that regards.
Okay.
I think we should credit that man for that. So now the MPs there now can champion it. And one thing these civil societies don't do is that sometimes if you want a law passed, and they are not taking initiative, you can invite 2 or 3 MPs, sit them down, explain to them why they need to champion it.
Okay.
And when they get the understanding, they will now take the law and present it, because the CSO that you are fighting this fight, you cannot go to the Parliament and pass it.
Okay.
And you standing here and saying, what if the people in authority don't even read your news article? They don't watch your what do you call it, your press conferences.
So they need to engage some MPs.
Yes.
For them to reintroduce the bill there.
Even the Attorney General, you can even engage the Attorney General himself.
Okay.
Go to his office,
Okay.
book an appointment,
Okay.
sit with him, explain to him, this is what is going on, these are the challenges, this is the draft law, go through it. If there are changes, consult with us, let's see how we can do the changes, let's see how we can amend it even before it gets to the floor of Parliament.
Okay. You see, they raised another concern that in 2016 the NPP campaigned on one of their campaign tickets was on this bill, that once they come into power, even though the bill has been there and neglected, when they come, they are going to introduce it and pass it on their behalf. And yet still nothing happened. 8 years in power, they left without the bill still being consented to. That's why they are making a cry out now for the new administration to kind of take a look at the bill, get it reintroduced and pass it for consumer protection. Because I really support this bill and I wish it really gets passed.
Of course.
Because look at how MTN is charging us and look at the services they are providing to us.
Yeah.
It's so bad. Look at how much we are buying data bundle in Ghana. And it's not the same in other countries where MTN is serving. Why?
Have you sat down to also check the operational cost between Ghana and those countries? Have you
So you think it's having an effect on
Of course.
these things?
In this sub-region, Ghana has the highest electricity tariffs.
Wow.
Yeah, they light board in power. And MTN for them the light in a produce and
Okay. But I know in Chelsea also we are quite doom. You see, say you are left with 1 minute again. Last time I was having an interview. I was having an interview. And they just told me you have no core credit. At least 1 minute to the year. It's like they are bored.
And the issue is that send an also. Say near also number so they are warning. Na kaka krebi say ne or no always wasting the time.
Oh my god, oh my god.
Computer na bre.
Oh my
Computer no abre.
Okay, so as you said, then they should engage.
They should engage people in higher places.
Okay.
To make sure that their concerns are heard. We all support them. I support that bill. I can't wait for it to happen so that we can properly take people to court, including ECG. ECG can turn off your light, and when your gadget goes down, they will tell you that bring evidence telling them how their lights going off impacted on your gadget. If we have laws like this, if we have a law like this, then ECG will be obliged to pay compensation for their actions.
So it won't even let them act irresponsibly.
Of course.
I mean, they can just off light in an entire constituency or district without any.
May say, and a two maybe a ECG personnel. Let me say this in tree.
Yeah.
A two maybe a ECG personnel. One more for no. ECG what I am some bedroom light. One bedroom honor as soon as he saw up a light here by the fee. And you know what doom the entire area just to give as soon as in a light.
We hope this bill gets consented to and gets passed as soon as tomorrow to protect Ghanaians and consumers from all these beneath services they are getting from what they are paying for. This is where we will be ending today's show. We'll be coming your way same time tomorrow. Where to bake again. Make sure you make time with us and enjoy the rest of your day as DJ Rock takes over.
Me, I've been married.